So when last we left off, Tempus was riding into the wee hours of the morning, cart ablaze, taunting goblins that were chasing after him, and he was shot and knocked unconscious, just as another group of goblins was entering the fray. So his fate has been left unknown. In the meantime, the rest of the group has a less than secure hiding spot that they're camping in next to a cliff face with a few trees out front that blocked the view of the goblins that were pursuing them. They were distracted by Tempus's torches in the distance and didn't see the party. So this is where we begin. Party, you had mentioned that you were basically passing out at this point.
I think we should still stay trying to be hiding for a little while longer.
Now, did we have stealth rolls at the end of it?
We did.
The lowest stealth roll was Ysmyr's at a 12.
Can we keep trying to help her?
Well, as far as you guys know, everybody has done an adequate job of hiding because the goblins didn't see you. So I'm not sure if you would know from your viewpoint, because you can all see each other in this copse by the cliff that you've found. So it might not be readily apparent to you that she isn't hiding as well as the rest.
Fair enough.
She was busy helping Miri hide, if I recall.
Yeah, because if I remember right, from listening, everybody was terrified because Miri would be the loudest of the group, or the most noticeable.
Yep. So you guys continue to stay hunkered down. You do hear a great commotion off in the distance. The sounds of battle ring through the night. Even at a great distance, you're still hearing it, and it appears to be getting closer as it draws on.
Oh. Do you think it's somebody fighting the goblins and the orcs? Because that's way more noise than it would take to just take Tempus down.
Do we want to try and go sneak and find out?
We could try.
Don't forget that exhaustion will affect your ability to sneak.
What do we do to take off exhaustion levels, Ryan?
Long rest only.
Yeah, long rest gets rid of one level of exhaustion.
Yeah, so like me and Ysmyr need 3 days of long rest.
But I just need 1.
So if there were going to be any kind of help, the only thing I could suggest is that we do some short rest and use some hit dice.
I'm not particularly injured. I'm worried about Tempus all alone out there.
I understand.
By the noise, I would say it sounds like he at least possibly made it to that goblin settlement, if that's what it was. But I don't know if we're in a position to keep going.
I worry about Tempus too, but the problem is all we'd be doing is throwing ourselves into the fire. We can't do anything effectively right now unless numerous gods come to our assistance. It's just so unlikely. It's crazy.
Well, then should we find a better place to hide? When I found this place, it wasn't a very good place, but it was the best one I could find in the short time we had.
Yes. I think what we need to do, at least for the moment, is to rest here for a while and then go look for a better hiding place so that we can rest enough to be of use.
The problem with waiting is that noise is getting closer, and we have the baby right here. Don't forget, he could wake up and scream.
I can calm the baby enough to make sure that he won't scream.
That means not a squawk.
I have handled small children before.
Then you know it's not always that easy. I think if Yaereene could maybe find a place that we could move to before whatever's making that noise comes here, we'd be better off resting there. I'm worried about Tempus too, but we trusted him to go, and now I want to make sure the rest of you are safe too.
Guys, the trees seem to have bowed their bows to provide us with more cover since we've been here. Almost like they're helping a little.
Really?
I don't know if they are, but we've got better cover than we did when we got here.
Then perhaps
We should stay?
Is telling us to stay here, and it will help.
Now, I know that I'm injured, but am I the only one?
I'm a teeny bit.
I just need rest.
Now, how long is a short rest again? At least,
An hour.
it's your choice, guys.
I think we should just try and get a long rest in. Wait for things to settle out while we can. We're no good to Tempus right now.
All right.
My magic is working again. I can use that to bring everybody back up to full hit points, and then we can rest.
Seriously, it's not worth it for me. I just need to
Or
rest.
me. Yeah, I'll be good, but maybe Katiara could be healed.
I need healing myself.
Yeah, you can heal yourself, and I will use a cure wounds second level on myself if we're doing a long rest. Because I've got 2 slots, that'll still leave me with 1 just in case.
Wouldn't a long rest reset our spell slots?
If we make it through without being interrupted, yes.
That's the kicker. That's why I only want to do 1.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying it's not worth it for me.
Okay, so I'm going to fire off a cure wounds on myself second level.
Nice.
Yep, and I'm back to full.
All right, so everyone's at least getting as healed as they can, and we're going to take a long rest. I'm guessing we're going to set a watch? Yes,
I think we should. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put me wherever you'd like me.
I'll take the dawn watch.
It is getting close to dawn. You've been running all night, so that would probably be second watch for Miri.
Okay.
I'll take the rest of the night then.
Shouldn't it be Yaereene and Miri? The 2 of us have the most that we need.
What?
Okay, well, you're exhaustion level 3, right?
Yeah.
I know you only get 1 back, but if we do get interrupted, I'd rather have you at the beginning rather than the end with the biggest chance of not getting it.
So at the beginning watching or at the beginning sleeping?
Beginning sleeping and do the final.
Okay. No, that's a fair argument.
So do you want me to go first then?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll take first watch.
And oh dear.
So
We need 4.
I've got Yaereene, Miri, Katiara, Ysmyr.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, that works.
Okay, you guys settle in. Yaereene, you don't even need to make a perception check. You watch as a sea of goblins comes running back from the west where Tempus went.
Oh, do they see us?
Let's see. It's the strangest sensation. You are peering from your hiding spot in amongst the trees, and you swear one of the goblins looks over directly at you, and you see a huge branch from an evergreen tree kind of sweep in between the goblin's line of sight and where you are, and the goblin apparently doesn't notice you.
I murmur very, very, very quietly. Thank you.
Do you speak Orcish?
A little bit. I was learning from Tempus before.
Do you know Goblin?
I don't believe so. Let me check. Common, Elvish, Halfling, Sylvan, and Undercommon.
Okay. You do recognize a couple of Orcish swears thrown into the conversation.
Well, that's what we focused on, so.
Yeah. So you're not sure what else they're talking about, but the horde passes, and apparently they don't detect where you are.
And they're all gone past?
They've all gone past.
I wake, and this is still in my watch, so it's still in the first 2 hours of the night?
Yep.
I wake everybody up. Well, who's the next person watch is Miri. I wake, and I wake Miri up. Sorry, Miri.
No problem.
I let her know what happened, including the tree branches, and including the horde is now gone. Do we want to go find Tempus?
I still think we need to let the others rest a little longer.
Okay. Sorry for waking you. Please go back to sleep.
I'll stay up.
No, you need your sleep too. You go back to bed. I'm in the best shape of everybody right now. I'm the least exhausted, so go ahead and sleep.
All right. Can I ask you to put a little bit of tea on?
Yeah, I'll put tea on for when I'm about to wake you.
Thank you.
Do the trees do anything else? Or respond to my whispered thanks?
No, but after you're done talking to Miri and you take a look at the trees again, they appear to be back to normal with their branches raised up. They're not looking suspicious in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. I will keep watch and try and think about what I can do.
Okay. So the rest of your watch passes uneventfully. And as a matter of fact, everybody's watches pass uneventfully. And by the time everybody is rested, you all remove one level of exhaustion. And it is later in the morning.
I explained to the rest what happened, including the tree branches moving, including the entire goblin horde, including the one that looked like it saw me. I haven't been able to see anything interesting about the trees since then.
Can if it seems safe, I take a look around?
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
May I as well, now that everybody's awake?
Yep.
Probably a good thing someone else looks.
Not me. I'm not helping a lot on that front.
I'm tired.
All right, I'm gonna now. So that's -2 for. It's a skill check, right?
Yes, at disadvantage if you have level 1 exhaustion. So, Yaereene, was there anything in particular that you were looking for in the area?
I was trying to find what might be the source of the tree's movements.
Yeah, you don't see anything strange or untoward around with the trees. They just look like natural trees. Anything else that you guys want to do?
If we're going to try and move out, then I would like to try and scout for any goblins left behind before we really move out.
Okay, you can give me a survival check at advantage since they're your favorite enemy.
Nice.
You take a look around, and there are definitely fewer tracks heading back than what went to the west. So you're not sure if that means that there are more that are still to the west, or if some of them died or went a different direction or something like that. All you know is that there were fewer.
Okay. Well, I let the others know and say I'd like to move carefully in the direction that Tempus went.
That sounds intelligent. Let's go.
Okay. Well, let's make sure everything that we took out of the cart that we can't carry is hidden, and then go.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I say that we need to go back to his tribe and try and get some strength to go find.
That's days away, Katiera.
Yeah, I don't think we can take that time.
All right.
I'm only moving it at half today.
And then I have another thing to ask you guys about. Should we all be going, or should you guys stay here and rest? Because I'm not tired and I can probably sneak better by myself. I don't know.
But you have no backup.
Honestly, with the amount of people we've been facing, backup's not going to matter. We'll all die together if we're all together, and caught by people who want to kill us if there's that many of us, or I would die by myself, but we're really outnumbered if we run into that large of a group.
You have a point. I don't like splitting the party up that much, but you do have a point, and you're the one who could best sneak back. However, if we lose you, then we're stuck and won't be able to get home at all.
How about we go a bit closer together and then you split off Yaereene?
Okay, I was just thinking this is a good spot where the trees seem friendly.
Our other option, Katiera and I are the worst off, right?
For exhaustion, yeah.
I'm already worried I sent Tempus to his death. I don't want to do the same to you, Yaereene.
I don't want to die.
Well, a lot of my spells rely on how the target reacts and not so much me making the hit. So the exhaustion may not be as bad now that I'm down to 2.
Except for you'll be moving slowly.
If I'm falling behind everybody else, I can always play my Longstrider loot and keep up.
Yes, but I'm slow too. I'm tired, Katiera.
Yes, true. And it's not like you've got that much more foot speed than me.
Yaereene, how about you go ahead and we follow behind slower?
Okay, but then you guys won't get rested. This seems like a safe-ish place.
We can't do another long rest until it's another day. You can't long rest 1 hour long rest. It has to be 8 hours in every 24-hour block.
But you could stay here where it's safe.
Is the tree protecting all of us, or is the tree protecting you?
Ryan, do I have a feeling for that?
You can give me an insight. It's really hard to tell, but you do know that the branches seem to have lowered for the entire group. So you're not sure if it was because of you, or if it was the entire group, or
our baby?
or what's going on, or the baby. Yeah, you don't know.
Okay.
Speaking of the baby has woken up and is crying bloody murder.
I am going to take care of the baby. Miri has dealt with orphan children before, and she'd have something in her med pack to pull together to handle it.
So are you feeding him?
Yes. Something on the order of a rice gruel mixed with some herbs that will calm him.
Drugging a baby, my goodness.
No. Like chamomile.
So you give the baby some rice gruel. The baby spits it out immediately and continues to cry.
Water?
How's his diaper?
Yeah, I basically run through everything I know about babies, checking to see what I can do for the baby, to see what he needs.
Yeah, the wrap is definitely heavily soiled at this point. Once you've cleaned up the baby, you don't really have any other diapers for it or anything of the sort. Are you going to cannibalize some clothing to make some?
Yes.
Okay, so you can remove clothing from your inventory, and you cut some scraps to wrap around the baby. And once it's changed, it is happier to take the food that you offer and falls back asleep.
Okay.
I'm glad he waited until now to do that.
Aye.
All right, but that still doesn't make our decision. I still think it might be best if we just creep forward together, but Yaereene, when you feel you need to go ahead, you let us know, and we'll wait. Or you just go ahead of us and we follow slowly behind.
How will I know where to find you?
Oh, because
And how will you know how to follow me?
Well, we are walking over snow.
follow the goblin tracks.
Okay, because I'm going to try not to leave very many.
I know, and that I'll probably be bringing up the rear and trying to wipe out our own tracks, but
Okay. So I guess
If you spot on the way, if you spot somewhere better for us to hide, we'll go there.
Okay. So I guess I'm going to move ahead, trying to be stealthy, watch for goblins, and cover my tracks. I will probably be moving slower than average.
Okay, you can give me a survival check at advantage. Okay, so you make your way through the woods. The tracks are super easy to follow, and you do see that other groups of goblins have split off in other directions to the north and south of the group that had passed by you, and there are also single goblins and pairs that have gone off in different directions along the way. It looks like the entire warband just splintered apart and ran for the hills. And you come to the charred remains of your cart.
And just the cart?
Just the cart.
No Tempus, no Chewy?
Nope.
Can I tell which direction Tempus has gone in?
Give me a survival check.
Advantage or no?
Yes.
Nice.
You can see a spot near the cart where it looks like a larger figure fell into the snow, but it's actually behind the cart. So it looks like he fell out of the cart and the cart continued moving for a bit, but what was holding the mule to the cart burned away and the cart just stopped there with Tempus laying behind it. But you can see that it looks like some goblins came back and hoisted him up, and you can see that their footprints head off to the west.
Okay, I'll follow.
Okay. Another survival check, please, with advantage. You have no problem following the tracks. The goblins that hauled Tempus away were accompanied by many other goblins headed in the same direction. Eventually, you do get to a spot where you can see a clearing ahead with tents and many, many goblins milling about.
Can I see Tempus anywhere?
Give me a perception check. You don't see Tempus. You do see Chewy kind of on the edge of the camp, laying down on the ground.
How fast is the rest of the group likely to be moving?
The rest of the group isn't too far behind you because you said you were moving stealthily, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so they're not that far behind.
Okay, I go back and let them know. I go back and find them before doing anything else then.
Okay.
And I tell them that Tempus was carried away. I don't know if in what condition, and Chewy is there. I think we should continue watching. I'd like to keep watch and see if I can find him, but I'd like you guys to get more rested too.
Is Chewy okay?
He was laying on the grass. Did he look alive or dead or unknown, Ryan?
Unknown.
I don't know, but he's there.
Let's go up to Chewy and check on him.
He's in the camp, in the goblin camp with the lots of goblins. So I don't think that's a good
Okay.
idea.
All right, sorry I missed that bit.
Gotcha. Yep. Is there anywhere near here in between me and the group, Ryan, that would be a good spot to hide?
Survival check, please. You haven't seen anything that looks great. Like, it's all about the same as what they had been hiding in before. Like, they'll have to make their own stealth checks to try to hide anywhere that you've seen.
What would you guys like to do?
Yeah, I guess settling nearby and just letting Yaereene scout as the ranger she is can't hurt.
Okay.
I just didn't want to be an hour away.
Yeah, no, you guys won't be that far away. From where you are, you can probably hear the goblins, even if you can't see them.
Well, until we know more, I'm okay with that idea. I don't know about everyone else.
I'm willing to chance it. How do you feel, Miri?
Seems like a good idea.
Okay, so I'll sneak back to the camp and try and see if I can see Tempus in any direction.
Okay. You get back within eyesight of the camp, and you take a look. Can you give me another perception check? So a little bit closer to the camp, you don't see Tempus per se. What you do see are banners of, looks like tree shapes. You also see a banner of an upright flaming sword symbol over one of the tents that looks larger and in better shape than the rest of the tents. But you don't see Tempus himself.
Okay. I can't remember which all of the tribes are which. So tree shape and a flaming sword.
Yeah, you can give me a history check and a religion check.
Obviously much better at one.
Yeah, so the tree one, you notice that you've seen this banner before in your travels, and it denotes the Sharp Tree tribe of goblins, but you don't recognize the flaming sword symbol.
Okay, but the bad orcs were not the flaming swords that we were just fighting.
No,
Good.
that was the
That's what I
flesh
thought.
takers.
Yeah, I knew it started with an F, and I'm like, but I don't think it was the same one. Do the tree ones in my previous travels, have I heard of them ever causing literal trees to move?
No.
Okay. I'll keep watching for a little bit to see, particularly focusing on anyone going in or out of tents or looking, basically I'm there trying to find Tempus.
Okay. There is a lot more movement around that larger tent with the flaming sword symbol on it. Like, that's definitely the most active part of the camp, but there are goblins all over the place.
Yeah, I won't go closer. I'll just watch for now.
Okay. You do see probably the oldest goblin that you've ever seen coming out of the tent and he is also wearing a rough cloth with this flaming sword symbol on his chest. And you see him kind of shuffle out of the largest tent and gives a great big stretch and a yawn and talks to some of the goblins nearby before heading back in, but still no sign of Tempus.
Okay, well, how long have I been there so far?
I've been there about 10 minutes at this point.
Okay, I'll spend about an hour watching,
Sure.
and we'll see what happens with that.
Okay, you still don't catch any sight of Tempus over the course of the hour. The movement of the goblins remains pretty much as it has been the entire time.
Okay, then I'll go back and I'll find the group for now, and I will I will tell them what I saw, including the symbols, and see if any of them are familiar with it.
Okay. So you guys can give me religion checks.
Somehow. I might know something.
There's one religion you know, and it's this one. Somehow. Even though this isn't a god that is followed in Nordgard, you two have had experience with the god outside of Nordgard in your travels, and you recognize the symbol as that of the god Tempus, god of war.
That makes some sense.
Do they know any more about the tree goblins?
You know that it is the Sharp Tree tribe, that they are not related to the Flesh Takers, but I mean, beyond that, there's not much to know with goblin tribes.
Well, do they have a history of killing random people they run across? Would be a great thing to know.
Would I know that with mine?
You guys can give me history checks.
Should I do that too, or?
Yeah, I think KTR has heard of the Sharp Tree tribe before, and being newer to the area, that makes sense. Ysmyr, yeah, you can give me a check too. Yeah, you haven't heard much beyond what I told you.
So we've got a couple of options. We can keep watching. Does anybody speak Orcish or Goblin?
I have Orcish, but I don't have Goblin.
Well, that beats me.
So we can either talk to them or watch them.
I think if we want to know what happened to Tempus, we're going to have to talk to them. And the fact that they apparently follow the god Tempus, this could work in our favor.
Actually, Ryan, I have one more question. So when I saw everything splitting and was tracking things, did I see signs of combat? And was that sign of combat more than Tempus could produce by himself?
Yes, definitely. There was a large battle in that area around the burned out cart.
Okay, so the logical conclusion would be goblin versus goblin?
Yeah, there were still some bodies in the area, and you saw several goblins and even a few orcs.
Well, several goblins and a few orcs Tempus could do.
If they have no love for the Flesh Takers, perhaps they went and the battle was fought and they took that because they're denying prey or anything to the Flesh Taker allied tribe. Maybe?
Yeah, and it's possible they could be friendly to us. It's possible that talking to them could be suicide.
Aye, there is that.
Because there's still lots and lots of these ones too, right?
But is there any way that you could go back and keep an eye on Chewie to see if they're treating or feeding him or doing anything?
Yeah, I can go watch for as long as you guys wanted. I just wanted to let you know what I'd seen so far.
I'm just thinking if they're kind to the animal instead of slaughtering it and making food out of it, that might be an indication.
Sounds good.
Miri, Ysmyr, that makes sense to you guys?
Yes.
To watch the donk. Yes, that makes sense, but we're still going to have to decide if we're going to talk to them or not.
I think the indicator that I'm looking to have a wee bit more confidence is that they're treating the animal well.
So I'll go see if I can see that, and you guys can think of everything you'd like to say, because I don't want to do the talking.
Oh, that's fair.
Unless they speak calm, and the only one doing the talking is Katiera.
Excellent.
Katiera, you might want to brush up on your diplomacy skills.
I start ransacking my memory for this tribe, the little that I do know, do they have any favorite songs or anything like that, or any traditions of myths of tales?
Yeah, you don't know this tribe well enough to know any of that information.
Fair.
So Yaereene, if you're going to try to get a better look at Chewie, I am going to need a stealth roll this time because you're going to have to get closer to the camp.
Do I get an advantage because I'm hiding from goblins?
I don't think so.
Fair enough. Just thought I'd check.
Yeah, I think that's just for tracking. Okay, so you start making your way towards Chewie, and you get close enough to get a look at him, and you see that he has a rope tied around his neck and tied to a nearby tree. He appears to be snoozing on a fairly thick mat of reeds and is just totally passed out. And as you get close enough to see this, there is a goblin that you didn't see right away that is coming towards him with an armful of dried grasses. It spots you and its eyes open up wide.
So do mine.
It drops the hay, points, and starts yelling.
I raise my hands and don't draw any weapon. I'm here in peace. I am not trying to attack anybody.
Okay, so a few goblins do run over, weapons drawn, but they see that you are showing no signs of being hostile, and they lower the weapons pretty much immediately. Yeah, so you've got a few goblins standing there jabbering away at you.
I point to Chewie, and if they'll let me, I go over and pet him and try and indicate that I know this this mule. We're together.
Okay. They all go wide-eyed as you pet the mule and start talking animatedly amongst themselves. And they point at you and point at the mule, and then they point at the tent with the flaming sword symbol over it.
I gesture to see if I'm allowed to go in that direction.
The first one that saw you holds out a hand for you to take and waits for you.
Okay, I'll do that. None of this has required talking so far, which is really excellent.
They take you towards the tent and pull aside the flaps to bring you in. It's dark in the tent, but you do see Tempus laying on what appears to be a kind of a ceremonial table with flowers placed around it and on him. And you can see that he has a really garish scar from a wound across his face, and his body is covered in burns.
Is he breathing?
No.
Oh, she bursts into tears and flings herself across him, sobbing hysterically.
The goblins give you space.
I'm so sad. They might hear that commotion.
The oldest goblin walks over to you and gently pats you on the shoulder and says, "You know, Fire Orc."
He was family. Then she still sobbing. He was my all my family's gone. They keep leaving.
He looks very confused at the mention of family and says, "He bring flesh takers here. He magnificent to behold."
He is, yes.
When Gurkum see orc on fiery cart, Gurkum think of glory of Tempus.
His name was Tempus. That's my friend.
The goblin, his jaw drops at this mention, and he immediately starts talking to the other goblins in the tent, and they're all just, the whole place is abuzz, and the word spreads like wildfire throughout the camp. And you guys, the party outside of eyesight, do hear a vast commotion coming from the goblin camp now.
Can any of us understand that?
I think that's our cue to get closer.
Well, it's in for a penny, in for a pound. I suggest we try and stealth our way there, or do we just walk bold as brass and hope that it's excited because they found the donkey's owner?
What are they saying?
You're too far away to tell out individual words. You just hear that the camp has gone into a frenzy.
Can we tell if they're mad or excited or what?
You can give me an insight check.
Okay.
I think I'll hop on that.
And anybody who has level 1 exhaustion is rolling at disadvantage.
Crap.
Okay. None of you rolled very well on that. You have no idea what all the hubbub is. You can't tell without seeing what's going on or anything.
All right. I think let's just get closer until we can at least maybe Kitiara, if you can hear a voice you understand or something.
I'll keep my ears open.
And we'll just be careful so that if we need to, I guess we can try and keep the little ones safe.
Okay, so you guys start to approach the camp. Yaereene, you're still in the tent, and the old goblin who is referring to himself as Gurkham is standing there, and he says, "You say he Tempus, he Tempus in flesh."
Yeah, you can touch him. He's Tempus. Where else would he be?
In all Gurkham's years, Gurkham never see Tempus in flesh.
Well, he's been my friend. I don't know if he's your god, but let's just say he would definitely ascribe to the same philosophies.
Gurkham looks shocked and saddened and says, Gurkham see dead god. Gurkham see dead Tempus.
I don't know if he's your god. He never mentioned it anyway.
He ignores that completely and walks forward and places an old gnarled hand on Tempus's chest and says, Gurkham save God. And he looks at you and says, Gurkham have magic of Tempus. Bring back Tempus in flesh.
I don't know if he's your god, but if you would bring him back, I would be so grateful. I don't think he is. He never mentioned it, but I would love to have him back.
Gurkham can't cast spell now. Gurkham must prepare. And Gurkham not have diamond for spell.
What do you need? I will get it.
Gurkham need big diamond. Spell require big diamond to cast. Spell must be cast in 10 days of Tempus dying.
I'll find you a diamond. How big? Show me.
He holds up his fist, says, big diamond, very big, rare, hard to find, but might be way.
So Yaereene has seen gemstones from her family and the nobility. How big and hard is this diamond going to be?
You've never seen a diamond that size in Nordgard. They are roughly the same size as the gemstones that you took from the catacombs, but none of those were diamonds.
Okay. Does she have any idea who might have diamonds in Nordgard who might not have mentioned? Or did she ever hear any rumors of? And is that in a 5-day journey?
Nordgard would definitely be within a 5-day journey, but like I said, you've never seen a diamond that size in the city.
Has she heard rumors, though, or no?
No, you wouldn't have even heard rumors of a diamond that size. There are other gemstones that size that are there's 2 in the city that are held by the Dameline family, and those are incredibly large and rare. There's nothing like this that you would have heard of.
Okay, Nordgard is out. I have friends who may be able to help. May I go bring them?
Yes, and I bring in Snikket, and Snikket may know of treasures such as these.
She hugs him, and she's still crying. I'll go get my friends.
You go get friends. Me get Snikket.
Okay, I'll go crying the whole way. Not worried about being stealthy as much this time.
That's fine. So the rest of the party, you see, as you approach the encampment, Yaereene burst out of the tent, sobbing, and she's running towards you.
But she's not being chased by goblins.
No.
Oh, that doesn't bode well.
It doesn't. It means something's happened, but they're not hostile.
They're not hostile, but Yaereene is crying. That doesn't bode well.
Aye.
No.
So do I make it to them?
Ysmyr will start going.
So this all comes in a total jumble. So Tempus is dead, but they're friendly and they might be able to save him. And they think he's a god, but I told them he'd never mentioned being a god, and I'm not sure he is, but they want to save him anyway. And I hope that we need to find a really big diamond, and I don't know where any really big diamonds are, but they're going to try and find a guy named Snikket who might know where really big diamonds are, and then we've got to go get it.
What?
All right, let's
You want me to say it again?
Is Tempus in there?
Yeah, he's not breathing.
But
they can maybe save him, but we need to get a really big diamond. We have to do it within 10 days, because if we don't do it within 10 days, then he stays just like that. And I don't want him to stay like that.
No.
No, none of us do. Let's go inside and we'll see what we can do. Let's all talk to them.
Okay.
We'll do everything that we can.
Do any of you guys have really, really big diamonds?
No.
No.
Would I have any knowledge of seeing anything like that in my travels from the south?
Give me a history check, Kachira.
Now, do I do this at disadvantage?
Yes, because you're exhausted. Nothing's coming to mind right now. Your mind is fogged from the run last night. There may be something, but you can't pinpoint it.
All right. Well, I want to head up to the tent and go in.
Okay. Yeah, the goblins allow you all free access through the camp, and but you see them smiling at you. They're like beaming with joy, and you see celebrations and dancing going on around campfires in the across the camp. And you enter the tent to find Tempus on this elaborate table with flowers around him.
So do I know why they're happy and dancing?
The god came to them and brought them victory over the Flesh Taker tribe and scared them off and brought them potentially long-lasting peace.
Ooh, that's pretty awesome.
All right. When I get in there, I just sit by the baron and put my head on his chest and just cry.
I hug Kachira and cry too.
And old Gurkham says, You all friends of Tempus made flesh?
I am a
Yes.
sight master.
Yeah.
Me bring Snikket, and Snikket say he might know place where find gem, but might be too far. You talk now with Snikket.
All right.
Okay.
And Gurkham waves Snikket over to speak with you.
Hello, elf things.
Yaereene trips and falls on her face right in front of him and says from the ground, "Hello."
So standing before you, as you can see, is a short little goblin, much like everybody else, but compared to everybody else, he is wearing what effectively looks like a red dragon hoodie costume. He looks like he's cosplaying as a little red dragon, complete with an adorable little tail. And he's just going to give you all kind of a grumpy look. And he's going to look you all up and down and say, so, the tribe tells me that you're all friends with, and he'll look distastefully over at the body on the bier, Tempus made flesh. Is that about right?
Yes, that's right.
Well, what you all be knowing about elven fortresses?
I know a little. How old is the construction?
No goddamn idea. About 5 days, 5.5 days, maybe 6 days travel from here, right on the edge of Corpse Float Lake. There is an old elf hut. Many of my tribe have tried to enter in the past, and absolutely none have come back. I was up hunting with an old friend of mine a few years back, and on a dare he wandered in and started yelling something about treasure. I don't know what you know about the old elves, but if there's one thing they had, it was much magic and much treasure. If If we are to find a diamond, the likes of which might save your friend, I think that might be a good place to start.
We've only got 10 days to do it.
Then I hope you're ready to run.
We can't run.
I can.
We need a day to rest on top of everything else if we're going to make it far.
I
Now,
can go now.
Yaereene, if nobody else has ever made it back from there, you might just be throwing yourself into the pit for Tempus. Now, what I would suggest, do you know how far it would be if we were on a cart with a donkey?
I doubt Chewie is in any condition to go.
Well, out of character. Like, I know he passed out. What level of exhaustion is he at? Like, could I go over there and examine him?
I know out of character he hit level 4, I believe.
Yeah, Chewie is level 4 exhaustion.
Oh, okay. So he's still. It's going to be 2 days before he's able to even go full speed.
Yeah, he's going to need a ton of rest.
And we can't take the baby there.
No, we can't. That's true.
Well, how are you with animals or beasts?
I'm pretty good with them.
I'm okay.
About a day or so north of the tribe, there's some packs of animals that, if you were talented enough, you might be able to convince us to act as mounts. Failing that, and he's going to look again a little bit distastefully at the body on stretched out on the altar, and say, "I'm sure the tribe would be happy to move for," and he's going to sneer here, "Tempus made flesh."
I think for what we need, we just need to go as a small group.
I think what he's saying is the tribe would move with Tempus, so the return journey ain't as long as the journey out. Right, so if we travel the 5.5 days there and the camp moves the equivalent of 2 or 3 days, it's only 8 instead of 10 days round trip back.
We're still packing up and moving. It all adds up.
Is Gurkum still here for this?
Yes, Gurkum is there.
Would you be willing to help?
Gurkum will help, yes. Gurkum will cast spell on Tempus made flesh.
She hugs him again.
What will it do?
Gurkum will tell camp to pack up and head north. We will travel as quickly as we can. We'll take time to pack up camp and move everyone. But no one will argue with such a task, for Tempus made flesh.
All right.
He is flesh. I don't know if he's the same.
Yaereene, it doesn't matter. Oh, all right. So if we start going now, your camp will follow and get closer so that hopefully we can meet you in the middle. And we'll wake Tempus up after that.
Aye.
Tempus died many hours ago, so you have less than 10 days now, but might still make it.
I can extend that time, but it will require a day's rest.
Well, if we move with the camp the first couple of days, you could extend it, and then we should be recovered enough that we're not going in knowing we're over our heads instead of maybe going in over our heads.
Yes.
That'll work. So.
All right. A day's rest here with the camp, in order that everyone is ready to move. And then I can cast a spell which will double the available time.
Perfect.
And that's the best I can do. I do not have the ability to bring him back myself.
Well, that's why we're going.
Yes, that's the best I can do.
That's better than anything we have right now. That gives us more time.
Yes. I would also like to ask if the women of the tribe would be willing to look after this little one.
We can't get rid of our baby orc.
We can't take it into an elven fortress that people die at either, Yaereene.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
Only wish that this little one be cared for while we go and seek out what we need to bring Tempus back.
Gurkum, Tempus made flesh is the one who collected this little one, and he took him. He was going to protect him, so we need to make sure he is safe too.
Gurkum holds out his arms to the baby.
Miri holds out the child.
Gurkum very gently takes the baby, and it looks absurdly large in his arms, but he cradles it and rocks it gently and says, Gurkum will ensure that the baby of Tempus made flesh is well cared for in your absence.
Thank you.
Tempus and I spoke, and I suggested calling it Etaha. Tempus liked the name, so if you need to call him anything, that's as good as anything.
Etaha. Very well. I shall bring Etaha to the women of the tribe, and he will be well cared for.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, I guess let's start moving camp. If you're up for it, sir.
Before that happens, it's not going to take anything undue for us to go back, gather our stuff that we had stashed away, or go back and get the cart, have 2 or 3 of us pulling it so it's not an exhausting task.
The cart is unusable at this point. It burned clear through. So
Okay.
there is no cart.
All right.
There's probably time to get our stuff from the tree, though, while the camp is packing up, if people are willing to. So we can get help with that and help the camp pack up. Ysmyr would like to, if there's time, just talk to Gurkum a little bit.
Sure, yeah. I mean, he leaves to hand over Etaha to the women folk of the tribe, but he is available to talk. He's too old to help with the packing up of the camp very much.
All right. When there's a chance, she'll approach him. And Gurkum, has your tribe had any issues with the undead lately?
Gurkum hear about undead from other tribes. We have taken in refugees, but have not battled the undead yet ourselves.
All right. At Nordgard, we have had a few instances with it, and our friend group here have dealt with them a few times. It seems the undead are coming up from the south with it feels like there's a purpose, but we don't know why. But it's ravaged the Jagged Tusk tribe, which are at Nordgard now.
That's where we are.
Yes, you know them.
The Sharp Tree tribe is friends of the Rivermaw tribe, who are allies of the Jagged Tusk. We were going to seek out an alliance with the Jagged Tusk as well, but they had left. We did not know where they went.
Tempus made flesh is from the Jagged Tusk tribe.
Oh, it all makes so much sense now. Tempus made flesh was brought to us so that I may bring him back, and he can bring us to the Jagged Tusk.
Snikket is rolling his eyes so hard you think they might fall out of his head.
Yes, I know Tempus wanted to try and find friendly tribes and bring them to Nordgard so that we may all defend against the undead threat. When we bring him back, I'm sure he would be happy to have you come with us.
Gurkum looks at Snikket with a big smile and says, "Have faith, friend."
Yes, Elder. I'm going to go get myself ready for the journey.
Okay, has he left?
Yeah, sure.
What makes him so sour about Tempus?
Snikket is one of little faith. When Tempus made flesh rode on his chariot of fire towards us, with his great mount drawing it forward through exhaustion unknown to such animals, it was a sign from Tempus, I said. Immediately I knew it. But Snikket doubted. Still doubts, I'm sure, despite all of the evidence around us that Tempus is made flesh and has come to his faithful.
If you don't mind, I'd like to learn some more about what you know about Tempus.
Have you been able to hear from him lately?
Oh, I pray to Tempus every day, and he grants me powers of magic. Yes, Tempus is a great god of war and has seen the Sharp Tree tribe through many great battles.
I'm starting to give slightly worried looks to the other people.
What's wrong?
I don't. Tempest never mentioned being a god.
Now, I'm curious to hear about your Tempus and compare him to what I know of the Tempus I know.
Tempus is a god who favors war and battle, honorable and true, yet does not pick sides. He is neither evil nor good. He simply is, and brandishes his flaming sword to battle where battle may be found.
I'm going through my mental Rolodex of all the gods, all the deities, and I'm trying to see if there's any, I'm just wondering if this is just another facet of a god that I know. And he reveals himself to the gnomes as Tempus, but I know him as X.
You don't think that that's the way the gods work, that it's different names that the gods assign, or that the followers assign to the gods. The god is the god, and you simply haven't heard anything of Tempus before.
Okay. Well, I thank you for the knowledge. Is Tempus one that looks on favor of those who follow him, dying in glorious battle?
There can be no higher honor.
Well, that certainly sounds like the Tempus I know.
While that's going on, Ysmyr was going to lightly pull Yaereene aside and just be like, to explain, based off of her question, our Tempus probably isn't the god unless we're in for a big surprise. But they think he is their god made flesh because of the coincidence of their names. So right now, that's not a bad thing. We will just let them think our Tempus is theirs. Who knows, he could be the way things go that are going lately.
Okay, but I already told them several times that I didn't think so.
You're not going to change their mind unless something happens to change it for them. Something bad, which we don't want happening.
It's not going to hurt them to believe this. Sometimes it really does help.
I didn't see you there, Miri. Hi.
Okay.
Sometimes anything that boosts morale.
It would be wonderful to have Tempest back.
Yes.
That's what we're worried about.
Tempus back. And if that brings more people to help protect Nordgard, to help fight the undead enemy, then that is a good thing. Even if it means that Tempus must play the role of a half-god. And yes, I know what that's like, being effectively a mortal angel myself.
We'll figure it out when we get there. Priority is getting Tempus awake.
And then we'll figure it out from there. And I'm sure I can find a way to work with Tempus to make things all work out so that we can help these goblins in a way that doesn't spoil their beliefs.
Miri?
Yes?
How well did you know Jondalar?
Very well.
How well does he know your family history?
As well as anybody. I mean, I met him when I was very small. Mother had been going to visit him for many years, even before I was born. It's always been a tradition of my family to go out there every so often.
If I knew something, would you want me to tell you?
Knew something?
He said something to me while we were there.
Alright.
But you might get mad at me, or him, or someone. So, do you want to know or do you want to not know? Or maybe we should just go back to everything. But then you said that and that made me think.
Okay. Maybe you'd better tell me and I can figure out what I think of it I won't get mad at you.
Well, he said that you think he's one of your ancestors.
Yes, but a very, very distant one.
He said you're not what you believe you are, and that you were mistaken about having him as one of your ancestors.
Oh well.
And that you weren't right about your blood giving you some power or purpose, and I'm supposed to protect you. And I'm scared that at some point in time this could hurt you. And I'm scared this could hurt Tempus.
Well, I guess we'll figure that out when it comes to it. I don't know. I've always known that I was Ysmyr, that it was my duty to protect others, that I walk in the light and I serve the light to protect against the darkness, that I exist to protect from the dark because I have a strength of light that will help me to protect others from darkness. Though, obviously, I can't do that alone. One person alone is not enough of a shield for an entire city, let alone the whole world. But we as the warband together can find the path that will bring back the light.
And protect each other.
And protect each other. And right now, we need to protect each other and find what we need to bring Tempus back, so that, because he left to protect us and he fell, and in order to properly protect the warband, we need to bring him back to our side so that the warband is all together again and we can continue protecting each other and finding the right path. Yes?
Yes, of
Then
course.
we shall do that. And Miri reaches over to hug her.
I hug her back.
Big tight hug.
She's just so grateful you're not mad. That's awesome.
See, social interactions aren't all bad, Yaereene.
Ysmyr's just gonna drop a comment of, seems we're all learning something about ourselves lately.
Yes.
Tempus is gonna wake up and learn he's a god next.
And we'll figure that out too. And Miri reaches over to hug Ysmyr.
Ysmyr does that, like, what? Oh god, what is happening? Stiffening, and then does a pat on her shoulder.
And Miri, let's go.
Yeah.
Is anybody else doing anything during the rest of the day while the goblins are busy packing up camp?
I see if there's anything I can help with that doesn't require speaking.
There's lots to do. Yeah, they've got lots of tents and stores and stuff that they'll have to move. They have a few small animals that they bring along with the camp for food if they have difficulty finding enough hunting. It's going to take them the rest of the day to break down camp and before they can get moving.
Yaereene just silently helps out in any spot that looks like she could be useful.
Miri goes to find whoever is the medicine people and assist them with making sure they have plenty of medicine and bandages and stuff.
Yeah, the tent that Tempus's body is in is the goblins' temple to Tempus. So they have several clerics on hand, and there's no injured or anything at the moment. They've all been the goblins are well taken care of here.
Okay, I will just go support wherever it looks like I can be most useful.
Okay. And you guys get your gear back that had been hidden by that cliff face where you camped out the night before. The goblins offer to take that along with the camp, so you don't have to be weighed down by it if you don't want to be.
Oh, good.
Yep,
No,
that's
would
what
help.
I'm focusing on doing as well. Moving the stuff.
And Ysmyr will be... She would want to hang around Gurkum and kind of anyone leaders, and just... She wants to learn how the goblins work, so that if things work out and they go with us back to Nordgard, she can hopefully help integrate them a bit better.
Okay. Through your conversations with Gurkum and the other elder goblins, You find that their tribe is actually fairly similar to the Jagged Tusk in terms of social networks and social norms, and that is to say that they're quite different from the people of Nordgard. But if they were to be under the wing of the Jagged Tusk, as it were, the transition shouldn't be horrible. They're willing to learn how to deal with the people of Nordgard to have safety from the undead threat that they've been hearing about.
Perfect. And she's just trying to build that repertoire of like she wants to help make sure this goes well. So
okay, yeah, they will definitely pick your brain about the social norms of Nordgard and laws that they would have to abide by and those sorts of things, so that they're not going in completely blind and have a chance to integrate as much as they can.
yeah, I forget his name already, but the counselor who causes trouble, she'll warn them about that, like people who will be against it, stuff like that. So I think they'll get a good exchange going.
Okay, so that is the day, and the night passes uneventfully. You guys can get rid of another level of exhaustion.
Hey!
Only level 1 now.
Chewie is up on his feet a bit now and eating again, but he does look very tired. But the goblins are treating him like he is some kind of divine being.
That's awesome.
He's the war mule now.
He definitely is. Like they speak to him in tones of reverence for bringing Tempus made flesh to them.
Ysmyr might drop a hint to one or two that he likes carrots or something like that. That poor mule deserves so much.
The following morning, the camp is ready to go. Is anybody doing anything in the morning?
Checking in on Tempus again.
Yeah, he is still dead, and his body does appear to be falling apart a little bit. Like it's looking a little worse
Miri?
today.
I am going to cast that spell I mentioned.
Gentle repose. Yeah, you cast that, and that will hold his body in stasis for another 10 days. So that will effectively give you 20 days from the point of his death to cast the revive spell on him that will bring him back to full fighting spirit.
Thank you, Miri.
There we go.
Snikket is going to track all of you down, and he is being followed by 4 rather plain-looking goblins, and he's just going to gesture at them and say, "This is Winkin, Blinkin, Nod, and Bodger. They're going to be coming with us on our little journey. Is everyone ready?"
Aye, ready as I'll ever be.
I believe so.
Yep. Lead the way.
Oh no, before we get going, we need to get something straight. And he's going to just sort of sit down in a lotus position in front of you and say, "When your orc rode over the hill with a flaming cart towards my tribe, everyone was arguing, was he an angel riding the sun, pulled by a beast of the heavens, or was he a devil riding hellfire, pulled by some sort of hellhound mule? The only thing everyone agreed on is that we needed to find more carts so we could set them on fire and do the same.
Oh my god.
I am not like old Gurkum. I'm not like the most of my tribe. I know exactly what you adventuresome types are like. I want to go to Nordgard. I want your orc to get us in, but I want it so that my people will be safe from the flesh takers and from the undead." And he's going to hold up a finger, and a little bit of flame is going to start circling around it. "If you think to take advantage of my people, or to try and lead us around the rose bush or into some sort of elven trap, I'll burn you to death myself."
I'm actually a little offended that you think we would do that. I can understand your concern, but it's badly misplaced.
You know what else is misplaced? Dozens of my kinfolk who died fighting off the flesh takers.
And those are legitimate concerns, Snikket. I will just let you know that I spoke to Gurkum about coming to Nordgard because I truly do want people safe, and that includes your tribe. I also want Tempus back. So right now, if we can work together, this should go in all our favors.
He'll give you a haughty nod, and we'll turn and we'll start marching north.
What is his speed?
30 feet. All goblins move at 30 feet.
Okay, wasn't sure.
Yaereene can't keep up with that.
I will just start playing my lute and give you a speed boost.
Why can't Yaereene keep up with 30 feet?
It says 20 on my sheet. I don't know why.
Are you
Probably
encumbered?
encumbrance.
Yeah, that would be the encumbrance rules.
We left behind anything, right?
Yeah, any of the treasure and stuff. It doesn't look like you have any extra stuff in your inventory right now, so it could just be that your stuff is heavy and you're encumbered.
And I'm not so strong.
Snikket is going to roll his eyes at you and is going to bark something in Goblin over at Winkin and Blinkin, who will pick up some of your inventory and carry it for you.
Oh, I could get rid of my leather armor though, right? Because we actually sold that.
Yep.
Sorry, I missed that.
Okay, dump that and see what happens.
Yeah, that should make a big difference. That's 10 pounds.
Unencumbered.
Sweet.
Perfect. Okay, so everybody is moving at 30 feet. And as you head northwest, in Snikket, you know that there is a river that flows from Daystar Lake to Corpse Float Lake, but you would have to go into Flushtaker tribe territory to get there. So probably the safest way is through the forest, avoiding that. And Yaereene, you don't even have to worry about making survival checks because you don't have a cart that you're trying to get through. Yeah, so it's fairly smooth travel. You quickly outpace the camp because there are a lot of goblins hauling a lot of stuff, and they're going to be moving much slower than your group over the next couple of days. But I am going to get a survival check from Yaereene before the day ends.
Okie dokie.
So as Snikket points the way, you begin your travels, and by the end of the day, you're starting to see tracks that are unfamiliar closer to Nordgard. Animal life tracks, like there are what would be similar to wolf tracks, but larger. There are large bear tracks through the area, moose, feline tracks, just a lot of different large animals obviously live in this area. Even though you haven't caught sight of any, you know that they're around.
And this many large animals living in the same area would be odd, right?
No, because there be predators and prey in the area. The tracks are probably several hours apart, in some cases days if it hasn't snowed in an area. It's a normal density of animals. It's just they are larger than what you're used to seeing close to Nordgard as you head up more north into the wilds.
I'll mention that to everyone, just so that everybody's aware, including Snikket and the rest of the goblins.
Now, Snikket, I'm curious. Are there any tales that you'd like to hear about the elves? And in return, you might tell me some tales about your people?
I've heard too many elf tales in my time. Thank you.
I'd love to hear some of yours, but I'd like to also return the favor. Is there anything that you're curious about that I may know?
He'll look you up and down very insultingly and say, "No, I'm good, thanks."
Well, you're just a little bundle of attitude. Well, but I still appreciate your help. G'day.
And you get to the end of the first day of travel unaccosted.
Good.
Okay, I asked Winkin, Blinkin, and I forget the other one. If they have any tales they'd like told that I might know. Around the campfire after supper and all that as we're getting ready for watches and that.
They only speak Goblin. You almost get the sense that Snikket chose them specifically because they don't speak Common.
Katir's, do you speak Goblin? I thought you said you did.
Orc.
Oh.
All right, well, I still look around and I ask if anybody wants a story while we have supper. I gotta keep in practice, you know.
Can we have one with a happy ending?
Yes, please.
All right. And I cast into my memory, and I'm trying to look for like a Horatio Hornblower type story. You know, the little guy, downtrodden, struggles, overcomes adversity, thinks he's found success, has a setback, rallies again, goes forth, and finally reaches success. And in doing so, realizes, you know, he's got to create a sense of community, and he like creates a teaching college or something like that and shares his knowledge with people.
Snikket is actually listening fairly attentively to your story. He has a very defensive body language, arms crossed, shoulders hunched, but he is listening.
Ysmyr is probably off by a tree, keeping an eye out, but also listening.
Now, do you want me to throw the performance, or do we just go with the story?
You can give me a performance check if you'd like. If you're going to throw in flair and all that sort of thing that I know you like to do. Oh, it's a magnificent telling. It's definitely the inspiring story that they were hoping for, and you leave everybody feeling really, really good.
Good. I look side-eye, trying to catch a look at Snikket without him noticing I'm checking him out.
Well, he was looking at you pretty directly, so once you look over at him, he's probably going to suddenly turn away.
I just nod my head, tap the side of my nose, and just pick up some non-judgmental conversation and just start doing some small talk as we try and relax.
Okay. Assuming you guys are setting up watch for the night, what order would you like to use?
Miri will take the dawn watch per usual.
I'll take the one just before Miri.
I'll go before Katira.
And I'll take first, I guess.
Snikket will go second.
Oh, okay.
So with Ysmyr or as a separate watch?
Oh, sorry. I assumed Ysmyr was going third and Snikket was taking a fair turn at it.
That's just all I was asking.
Yep, assuming you trust him, of course.
We're saving Tempus.
Okay. Yep. So you guys take shorter watches this night, and the night goes smoothly. There's no problems there. You do hear the odd animal sound off in the distance, howling of a wolf, the sound of an animal running through the bushes off in the distance, but nothing comes towards camp to interrupt your rest, and you get up the next morning.
All right, so we help break camp. I go to Snikket, and I'm like, I'm curious. Would you mind sharing your tongue with me? And I know Common, Elfish, and Orc. I'd be glad to teach you a language in return. Fair exchange.
Snikket says no in Goblin.
Pardon?
That's your first lesson. Means no.
Well, that's an interesting way to start. And I say in Orc, no.
He'll talk back in Orc. Yeah, you don't have much to offer me, elf.
And I go in Elfish. Well, I'm sorry you have your backup, but I would like to be able to treat you as a comrade and not an unwilling one.
And he'll respond in Draconic, saying, this isn't funny anymore. Let's get moving.
I agree, Snikket. Let's go.
Oh, his head spins to you when you say that.
Let's go, everyone.
All right.
She's ignoring him.
All right, let's go.
Yaereene, can I get another survival check, please?
Yep.
So you see pretty much the same thing that you saw the other day, although you do note some large humanoid tracks crossing your path as well, heading up towards the northeast. So not the direction you're traveling, but kind of perpendicular to your path.
How large is large?
The creature that made them would be large-sized, so could be ogre.
So I mentioned that to the whole group as well, that there was very large humanoid tracks. You said heading towards the northeast?
Yeah.
Heading towards the northeast.
Any chance Snikket might be able to identify the tracks?
Yeah, Snikket recognizes ogre tracks. You know that there are tribes further to the north, and the more north you head, the larger and more dangerous the creatures become.
He will sourly inform the party that, yeah, it's ogre tracks. And while he says that while he himself is usually a match for one-on-one with an ogre, the rest of the party should be concerned if we run into a warband.
All right, I guess we'll be more careful. So I guess we keep going? Because it was perpendicular, right? It wasn't along the same trail?
That's right.
It was, yeah.
Okay. You guys continue on, and you're seeing all the same types of tracks that you've seen before, although you are also noticing a few what look like they might be larger rat tracks as well, boars, and what could be a large lizard added to the mix.
Wow. I kind of point out all these as we're traveling by.
When you say a large lizard, are we talking like a wyvern, or are we talking like something else?
You know that there are giant lizards in the area. They're usually not awake at this time of year. They hibernate in the cold. For whatever reason, there are giant lizard tracks that Yaereene has pointed out.
Snikket will share that information with the rest of the party, and you kind of get the sense that he's a little bit unnerved by it.
What would wake him?
A larger predator, a hunting party entering their lair, some sort of distortion in the earth, the earth shaking and moving. I don't rightly know. This is unusual.
I reply thank you in Elfish first, and then I say thank you. I'm also trying to keep an eye on our rear, just in case the ogres double back, see our tracks, and start following.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Yeah, you don't see anything stalking you through the woods.
Okay.
And you continue on for the rest of the day, once again, unaccosted.
I love how you're saying that once again.
Well, you've had 2 days of safe travel, thanks to Yaereene's excellent tracking skills.
We have a good ranger. I'm assuming a similar evening setup. Find a good spot, hidden spot, now that we know there's more dangers.
Yeah, can I keep a watch to try and find a good spot for camping as we're going?
Sure, give me a survival check. Yeah, you find a really great spot just in a small valley with tightly packed trees. Because you don't have a cart, it's no problem getting in there, and you're sure nothing's going to see you from the outside.
Excellent.
As we're setting up for the camp that night, Snikket is actually going to do something. He is going to cast a spell on himself, and he is just going to float up into the air, going up 20 feet above the camp, and is just going to keep going up 20 feet, probably until he's about 200 feet into the air, and he is just going to be looking around the camp from the sky. Is there anything of interest in the area?
You get a pretty good look from up there. You do see campfire smoke off to the east, quite a long distance away. You're also seeing winged creatures coming out to hunt in the failing light of the day. Some of them rather large, and probably not a good idea to stay up there too long just in case they see you.
No, he won't stay up very long. He just goes up for the peak and then comes back down, and will give everybody kind of like he doesn't want to like really talk to you guys, so he just like gives like a general report of everything that he saw to nobody, and will just settle in for the night, like, saying it out loud so that everybody can hear, but he's not talking to anybody.
I again go thank you in Elfish, and then in Common.
This time you get a rude noise out of him. He goes,
Ryan, can I use my primeval awareness to see what creatures and numbers are present within the nearest 5 miles?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I will, thank you. I have to spend, I believe, a minute uninterrupted in concentration.
You do get a sense that there are small packs of humanoids scattered throughout the woods in almost all directions, but there aren't any that are within a mile of you.
Okay, I let everybody know that as well. but no really large unexpected groups such as we found last time.
No, there are no tribal camps like the ones that you've run into closer to Daystar Lake.
Lovely. I like that. I think if nobody else has any, so I do convey that to everybody, and we'll set up watch.
Yeah, Snikket doesn't seem to want to chat in Draconic, so Ysmyr's leaving him alone.
I'm going to do another story time if people want it.
Same request as last time. Can we have something cheerful?
Okay. This time the story is a little bit different. Basically, it's about two people that are from two indifferent tribes to each other. But at one of the local gatherings, the big moot of the year, they happen to stumble across each other, do some friendly competitions in poetry and other such things, where it's not like an athletic competition, it's more an arts competition. And they find an interest in each other. And then they start spending the week of the moot, slowly gathering more and more knowledge of the other and starting to go and seek out the other. But then the moot is over and they go away. And during the year that the moot is apart, they spend their time thinking of each other and slowly coming to realize that this is a person that means something very much to them. And they start looking forward to the next year's moot. They're a little bit older this time, and they start keeping company again, picking up as if no time had passed. And this repeats for another 3 years with each moot, the connection and the bond growing stronger and stronger. The parents are somewhat startled that they're not really looking for love in their own tribe and all that. And finally, it comes to their 18th birthday, and the families finally get together and discuss. And then the two of them come together and, simply holding hands, speak eloquently and poignantly of the need for these two souls to form a bond and form a family and not be a stranger. And everyone is just struck by the beauty of this relationship, that they just let it happen. And they go on and, with the support of the other two families, start beginning to form their own tribe. And that's the end of the story.
That's a good story.
At the end of the story, surprisingly, Snikket looks at you and says, "Was there a lake?"
I am not absolutely certain. The geography is strange to me. I share the names, and it's like, I don't know if that'll help, but that's what I can remember of the tale. There was no discussion of the lake. I don't know if they went swimming or boating or anything like that.
Snikket will say, "I don't know anything about that, but far, far to the north, there is the Lake of Gatherings, where the free peoples of the north would gather every few years. And such a gathering has not happened for a good long time."
It could be, because this is not a recent tale. It's one that found me disfavor with my teachers. They all like the modern tales and all that, whereas I always loved the old tales, the old myths, the old songs, the things that hold true over the years, and not just some fashionable trend, something that speaks to greater truths.
Well, he won't say anything more for the rest of the night, but if you look at him again, you can see that he's staring hard at you.
I just give a friendly nod. Good luck on your watch. In Elfish, then in Common.
He'll huff a little bit and just look away, crossing his arms over himself.
And the night passes uneventfully. You wake up in the morning feeling refreshed. So nobody should have any levels of exhaustion anymore, I think.
Yeah, lost those the last night.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yaereene, can I get another survival check, please?
Yes, you can.
It
And
is
even needed slinging guidance around lately.
I mean, you can have guidance whenever you want it.
So what you're saying is Yaereene doesn't want it and is determined to guide us on hard mode.
No, we should be doing that. I'll ask.
So aside from the usual tracks, you're also seeing what you would guess would be giant spider tracks heading through the area.
Oh, guys, there's some really big spiders.
We're still in the forest, right?
You sure are.
Is it becoming like Mirkwood?
It's definitely larger, older trees here. It's dim even in the daytime. It still feels like natural forest. There's nothing like weird or magical kind of sense in the area. It's just you're seeing a lot of different types of life that you don't typically experience closer to Nordgard and civilization.
Oh, good. The boys and I were out of rations. It's a chance to stock up.
Speaking of
On
rations,
spider?
On spiders? You eat spiders?
You never know when your next meal is coming. You eat what you can get.
speaking of
Giant
rations,
spiders.
I forgot to mention that you guys should remove a couple of days of rations for the travels that you've been doing.
Okay.
One's hunting along the way. Or
Can I be assisting with that, since that's one of the things I'm good at?
Sure. You don't have an Outlander background, right? You'd be hunting with using survival?
I have Natural Explorer that says if I'm foraging for food, I find twice as much food as I normally would. And even when I'm engaged, oh no, that's just being alert. Yeah,
Okay. So can you roll a couple of survival checks for hunting?
sure. May I have some help with guidance? Or is that not a guidance-y thing?
Um,
Guidance would help take it.
I think hunting takes longer than a minute, usually.
Okay,
So
so survival.
For rations, I should have asked, or with the hunting, since Ysmyr never really carried a lot of stuff, and usually her rations were in the cart. Are people carrying things for her? Otherwise, she'd be encumbered by a lot of food.
Snikket had said that the goblins are helping to carry things so that people aren't encumbered.
Winkin,
Okay.
Blinkin, Nod, and Bodger are all carrying things as needed.
Okay.
So Yaereene, you on your first day hunting, you find an animal that gives you enough food for 7 people. So that's more than your group requires.
I will share, because our group is the whole group.
Okay. So because there are 9 of you, there will be 2 rations that need to be eaten the first day.
Snikket has been feeding himself and the goblins out of the 10 rations that he started with as part of his beginning equipment.
She offered to share that day, so if they wanted to take her up on it, he would not have to feed all of them.
He wouldn't accept it the first 2 days, but maybe try again tomorrow.
Okay. Then you have enough food the second day as well to feed everybody other than Snikket and the goblins.
Okay.
If you're going to take any extra meat or anything, you can prepare that to keep it as additional rations, because you get 8 on the second day.
Okay. So then, yes, I will. And that gives us enough for our party for the day after. Well, actually, there's 4 of us,
Yeah.
right? So that gives more than that. Yep. I'll put it down.
Perfect.
Yeah, there are giant spiders. And you're seeing now other tracks, humanoid tracks, again, ogres and bugbears, orcs, goblins, all manner of humanoid tracks, and they appear to be heading north. So not perpendicular to your path, but just slightly off to the side. And you're finding the tracks fairly regularly, given how good your check was. You can see that some of them aren't walking normally. Some of them have kind of a shuffle to their step.
And I'm familiar with the shuffle.
It looks more like a walking wounded thing than a zombie thing.
Gotcha. And which direction are the walking wounded heading?
North.
Okay, so I convey that to everyone as well. I'm sharing this always with everybody, goblins and non-goblins.
That's strange. Corpse Float Lake isn't usually this crowded.
Do we continue?
Unless you're giving up on your friend, yes.
No. I was asking if we needed to go in a different direction, or if straight's good. Straight sounds good. Let's go.
Let's go. For all we got right now.
Okay, you continue heading to the northwest for a ways because of Yaereene's ability to avoid trouble. Nothing happens over the course of the day, and you find a decent place to camp.
Yaereene, the MVP.
Yep.
This is where she shines. It's the only spot she shines, but this is where she shines.
I wouldn't be so hard on yourself.
Oh, that was totally out of character.
Well,
She wouldn't give herself that much credit.
Well, in character, I think you were doing well over 20 damage around on in the last couple of orcs fights we had, so this is hardly your only place to shine. As we're setting up camp, Snikket will actually approach Ysmyr, and it's kind of like he's very furtively sideways walking at her, and he'll say in Draconic, "Do you speak the tongue of dragons?"
I do.
Why?
I was taught it. I was taught it when I was young.
By who?
My mother. Why?
And he'll cock his head at you, and this conversation has been happening in Draconic, I'll assume, and he'll say, "Because outside of my own parents, I've never met anyone who spoke the tongue of dragons."
Your parents spoke it. That's interesting. Yeah, not many people do. At least I haven't run into them.
He'll stare at you with his beady little eyes well past the point of awkwardness and then turn and walk away.
Just as he's turning, she'll just ask, do you wear the suit because you like the dragon stuff?
He'll stop and visibly flinch and say, "It's a reminder."
May I ask of what?
And he'll look at you with like a face that's kind of trembling somewhere between like a trying to stay neutral and a venomous glare, and he'll say, "A reminder that outsiders are not to be trusted." And then he will stomp off.
She'll just give a light nod and let him go.
Tonight, though, the goblins will be much more helpful around camp, helping to set everything up and even helping to scavenge food if Yaereene is going to be doing some scavenging. Snikket does have the Outlander background, and so he can help with producing rations.
Yeah, Yaereene will as well. Again,
Okay, can I get a survival check for the hunt, Yaereene?
not her best evening.
No, but between you and Snikket, you managed to find 7 days worth of food to split up amongst the party.
And we had 7 from that the goblins were carrying from the night before.
Stretching those rations out. Nice.
Would you like me to note the 14 rations as being carried amongst the goblins and do my subtraction as to how much they're eating, or are you keeping track of that in the spreadsheet, Ysmyr?
I wasn't, but I can. So we... okay, so
14 minus 8, so we've got 6 remaining after supper, after we eat today.
And that's the stuff that you've hunted, not the actual rations that we had.
Correct.
Okay. 6 left, and we had 35 days worth of rations when we headed out here. We would have just taken what we needed for the trip, right?
Sure, you can take however much you felt like you needed.
I've got 10 on me.
I've only got
Probably.
4.
If the goblins are carrying stuff, they probably have another 10, I will lightly say, since Ysmyr can't really carry stuff.
They'll carry whatever you'll give them. What I would maybe recommend is in your equipment tab, go ahead and select the piece of equipment, click on customize, set the weight to 0, and put a note that says goblins carrying this for me. That way you still have it in your inventory. You can grab it at a moment's notice, but you get the weight off of your weight carried and it tracks where that stuff might be at right this second.
Okay, perfect. Got it. All right. And I have the hunted goods written down on our Group 1 goodie sheet, so we are set.
Thanks, everybody. And out of character, I'm sorry I'm being such a mean guy today.
I'm highly entertained by you.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this.
It's amusing, at least. It's very different.
Yeah, with that in mind, I guess we settle down.
Yeah, the night passes uneventfully again, and the next day, is there anything anybody wants to do in the morning?
Unless anybody says otherwise, I think we're breaking camp and walking on.
I'm hoping that I can walk with Snikket and ask him about the trees from before. If he knows why the trees would have moved or how that would have happened. If he knows anything about that.
After listening to her describe it, is there a roll that Snikket might make to try and determine it? He's proficient with Arcana.
You could give me an Arcana check. You know that there are spells that druids can use to awaken plants, and it could just be that they were awakened trees, something like that.
I'll shrug and relay that without having been there, without having seen it, I can't really tell you, but that's my guess as to what might have happened. Maybe you have some sort of power.
Me?
Yes, you. I'm told that when I was a baby I started spitting flames, so you never know when all of a sudden you might have magic flying out of you.
Baby, huh?
And he'll give you like a ear-to-ear grin and say, "I was a handful," before catching himself and like looking less friendly again.
She'll giggle at him for that.
He very quickly catches himself and tries to go back to not showing much in the way of emotion.
Okay. Yaereene, would you like to give me another survival check, please?
Today, Snikket will help her, and she can roll at advantage.
Oh, good. Didn't help much, but there's the second one.
Well, it helped a bit. You do see some tracks today that appear fairly fresh, and they are large tracks, probably ogre-sized tracks heading towards the north. You find them just as you are coming up to a river, and Snikket, you know that you need to head north for another day from this point to find the Elven Fortress.
So I mentioned the tracks to everyone.
Uh-oh.
Are they the same type of large tracks that we've seen previously, ogres and the like?
You can give me either survival or investigation.
Can I help?
Yep.
You can roll with advantage.
They're definitely ogre tracks, but it's not so much the tracks that are the problem, but rather this kind of green droplets that you're seeing in the snow around the tracks. That is odd.
Have I ever seen them before? Green droplets?
Nope.
Ogres have plague.
Any chance of, like, would you like a nature roll, an arcana roll? I'm not proficient with nature, but is there any way we could try and identify it?
I would give you nature or arcana, sure.
I don't know nothing about nothing, and I never did.
No, you've
Is
never
anybody else of that too? Or just him?
anybody who's taking a look at it.
Do you point it out?
Yep.
Nature or Arcana, you said?
Yep.
I know nothing about nothing just as much as Snikket knows nothing about nothing.
Yaereene, you're sure that this isn't a natural fluid? Like, you've never seen anything like it in nature, but nobody else has any idea what it even could be. It doesn't look like anything that you've run across so far.
Okay, I'll share that it's not natural and normal, but I don't know much more.
Ugh, this isn't good. And it's traveling the way we're traveling?
Yes, at this point, when you find the river, it's just starting to turn north towards a lake in the distance, and Snikket knows that this lake is where you'll find the Elven Citadel.
Well, I'll tell everybody that and just ask, like, are you ready to continue?
I guess so. Keep an eye out for giant things and green oozy things.
You continue on for the remainder of the day, and Yaereene, can you give me a survival roll for finding a campsite?
Snikket will help.
Yeah, you find a really good spot away from the river that's well hidden from view in all directions. It's no problem there. Can I also get a survival check from you, Yaereene, for finding food? Okay, you guys bring down a large moose and get 16 days worth of rations as you spend the night cleaning it.
So that with our left other 6 days, we'll have 13 days worth of extra food, minus what we eat tonight?
Yep.
Perfect. Got it.
Tiara, are you telling us stories tonight?
Yep. Is Snikket actually looking kind of like he wants to hear something?
He's definitely looking at you. You even maybe go so far as to say that there's an expectant air, but as with before, if ever you look at him, he just pretends that he's not actually looking at you.
All right. Now, I take it that we're wanting to have happy or hopeful stories still?
Yes, please.
Yes.
All right, then. And then I go on to tell a story. This is a story of a person who is lost, stumbling about, wondering what their purpose in life is, never never finding the acceptance or support from the people that they should have gotten it for. And this person then meets another group who takes them in and finds a place, finds that these people support and help where that person is weakest, and finds that she has strengths to give to the group and make them succeed. And they adventure for many years, having many culminating until finally they have cleared the land of a great, great menace. And then they all set up their lives in a village together, each doing what they love best, and looking forward to each night where they would welcome each other into one of their homes, share a meal, and reminisce. The end.
You sure that's not about us?
Oh, no, of course not.
Is that
Well,
a real
we haven't
story?
gotten that far, but that sounds like it could be about us.
It's funny how you have the heroic tale and it echoes and it echoes, and people walk the path and
Is,
do the things.
is it a real story?
It is my story that I told you.
Then
Yaerene's
let's
going to
make
be
it
very
about us.
quiet and thoughtful for the rest of the night and watch Katia a lot.
Well, good night, all.
Thanks
Everyone,
for the
good
story.
luck on your watches.
And the night passes uneventfully. The next
Been
morning,
too quiet.
the next morning breaks bright and clear, and you set off once more. Yaereene, can you give me a survival check?
Sure can.
Yeah, it's strange. You're not. You actually lose the tracks of the ogre that had been traveling to the north in the same direction that you were going, and you have no idea where he disappeared to. You kind of lost your focus along the way for a while, and then when you're looking around, you realize that they were just gone.
I let the group know.
Well, that might be a problem. Be extra vigilant, people.
Yeah.
As you continue on your way, following the river, you get to the lake. And along in the distance on the shoreline, you do see walls of a citadel with great rounded buildings peeking up over the walls.
Ryan, can I try a history check to see if it's any kind of familiar structure that's kind of like generic outpost or fortress?
Sure thing. History check. While you were in the Kingdom of the Sun doing research of various sorts, you did come across books with illustrations of elven buildings, ancient elven buildings, and they did have this kind of rounded look to them. The style was that they didn't like sharp corners, and so even inside their buildings, it's more like a warren of tunnels with great circular rooms rather than squared off hallways with the chambers that you're used to seeing in Nordgard.
Can I kick off the scrub and form an area of dirt where I can kind of sketch out the type of plans that I recall seeing of this?
Sure.
And show everybody and say, this is the type of buildings that I remember historically looking like that. And so we can expect to see great arcs and rounded spaces, not so much turns and corners and such. It's all rounded, more natural than unnatural.
All right. So whatever we try and find, it's going to be windy if we get in.
Well, hopefully it comes easy.
It's an elf fortress. It's full of magic and traps and who knows what else. I don't expect there to be anything easy about it.
We shall see. I say in Elfish, then in Common.
He'll glare at you a little bit, then turn away.
Okay. So you continue to make your way up, and eventually you see the rounded walls of the Elven Citadel, the exterior walls anyway. You can see white metal gates standing ajar at the entrance.
It's standing ajar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do we see any tracks or disturbance or any indication that there's now being kept as a warren or lair for any beasts?
Can I get a survival check?
Can I do it?
Guide you.
Good job.
You too.
Yeah, that was a really good roll. There are footprints, not very many of them, and they're not making so much of a trail as there is a spot where there are footprints, and then there are none.
Do they look like they have gone into the air somehow?
That would be your guess. And it's strange because the footprints, there are 4, and they don't match each other. There are 2 that look like the paws of a giant cat, and 2 that look like cloven hoofs.
Oh,
Whoa!
Sorry, my bad. I'm sorry.
well, that's not terribly comforting.
So, like, they're walking to a spot and then just going poof?
They don't walk. There's 4 prints there. And
Total.
on closer examination, you do see that there were some smaller animal prints, like maybe a bunny or something that was through the area, and
Oh,
it was gone.
so watch over our heads.
I think so.
And that's by the gate or just in the area?
It's a little ways off from the gate. Yaereene was looking around and spotted them a distance away.
Okay, I'd like to just take a look around the gate, see if I see any runes or anything that we should be worried about.
No, you don't see anything like that. It's just the white metal gates standing open a bit. And Snikket, you're not surprised by this because, like you said, there have been goblins that have gone into this place. They don't really care about leaving doors closed.
This is about as far as I've ever come, but once, a long, long time ago, a friend of mine and I were here, and he went in on, I suppose you could call it a dare, and my companion, his name was Kudrench, ran in and yelled, "Treasure! Elven treasure!" and then he screamed, and he'll look around a little bit shamefacedly and say, and I ran.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Yaereene looks sympathetic.
Sorry for your friend. Maybe this is our chance to find out what happened.
Maybe.
Can anyone tell if there's magic just inside the gate? Because if something weird was happening,
Hang on.
these things didn't walk up there.
I can't help with that.
No, I don't have detect magic. Sorry.
I'm not that sort of dragon.
No, I can't either.
Okay, it was just worth checking.
So you're all standing around outside the citadel. What are you going to do?
Snikket is going to tell Winkin, Blinkin, Nod, and Bodger to dig themselves in and find a hiding place by the door. If we don't make it back out in like a day or two, there to get back to the tribe and tell our story.
Okay.
Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. What shall we do for a march in order?
I can go first and watch if you want.
I'll be behind you.
I'll take end.
Miri and Snikket in the middle?
Right.
Fine.
Okay. So you guys approach the gates, and they're not open enough for you to get in, but they are open a bit.
So just a crack open?
Yeah, they swing outwards. It's not like a portcullis that goes up and down. So yeah, they're just cracked open a little bit, like maybe a foot.
I start examining the hinges as much as I can from on each door to see if there's anything that indicates it will trigger something.
Okay, give me an investigation.
Yep, there's metal there.
Yeah, you don't see anything that looks remotely like a trap on it.
Now that we're closer, do we see anything else about those footsteps or the area just in front of these doors?
There are no footsteps at the gates.
Okay, they're further
Except for
back.
ours. Are we showing footsteps?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I think.
Excuse me. Snikket, do you think you could levitate up a bit and see if you find an opening or some kind of lever or any kind of stuff up there?
I mean, I could, but why would we? The doors are open.
Because it might give an indication of how to open them all the way, or it might be a way of disarming a trap inside.
Very well. But I don't really know what I would be looking for, so here's a better idea. And he's going to bop you on the knee with his staff, and unless you're unwilling, you'll start levitating as he directs with his little staff.
That's awesome.
And then you just, oi! All right, you could have warned me.
You could make a con save if you're unwilling.
No, I'm not unwilling. I'm just startled. Okay, so I'm going up and I'm checking the wall. And is that another investigation since I'm looking at new areas?
Sure. Yeah, you float up and over the wall and as you float over the wall, I'm just going to give you a little description first. Before you is a small compound with several oval-shaped buildings crafted from pink granite, with curved roads winding amongst them. To the right, you see a road that winds towards a large hillock. The road ahead of you and to the left seem to travel in roughly the same direction, although they do branch off later towards a larger. There is a large, what appears to be perhaps a fortress, and a longer oval building beside it. So you take a look at the gates, and you find the hinges on the inside, and take a good look, and you don't see anything trapped, and you're actually surprised at how good condition the hinges are in, and the gate in general. Like, there's no rust or anything. Like, it's ageless.
So it's some kind of magical construction or spells aiding it in standing?
You can give me an Arcana check. Yeah, you're not really sure if it's magical or if it's the type of metal or what's going on here.
I wave and I call down, Snikket, could you bring me down gently, please?
Yeah, Snikket will lower him relatively gently.
Relatively.
All right, so I get up and dust myself from being spilled on my face, and
back up 20 feet. I joke, I let him down.
no, I can actually see you doing that and then letting me down gently on my feet afterwards. All right, and then I sketch out the outline of what I saw when I was looking over, and now I don't know if it's magic or if it's what it's made of, but those things don't look aged. They look nothing at all like the age of the place should be from the way it's constructed. So, you know.
We know the ancient elves were pretty heavy with their magic. That could be keeping it sturdy.
That they were.
And you didn't notice anything keeping us from going in?
I didn't notice anything. I mean, I don't know what it is that took your friend, Snikket, but I didn't see any indication. So all we can do is support each other and get through this.
All right, but the gate looks safe.
Far as I can tell.
All right, then I guess Ysmyr is going to go up and see if she can pull it open for everyone.
The gate opens soundlessly.
That's kind of weird that it's soundless.
Aye, like I say, there's no signs of age, no signs of wear on those hinges or those gates. It's a thing.
All right, well, let's go.
Aye.
Okay. When you enter the compound, you all see what KTR saw when he levitated up and over. Where would you like to investigate first?
Do we want to go down to where the kind of heart-shaped thing is?
What does the kind of heart-shaped thing look like from the outside as we're moving down the path?
The heart-shaped thing doesn't look like the pink granite buildings. It's more of a natural-looking hillock, and the road leads to a rounded entryway.
Should we poke into one of these small first buildings and look around in there?
Yeah, let's just peek in and see what we're dealing with. You said your friend noticed treasure early on, right?
I heard him yelling as though from a great distance. I don't rightly know where he was.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So looking into one of the earlier smaller buildings that you come across, you see that it appears to be a house that's been ransacked.
So it doesn't look like it's in great condition?
No, not on the inside. On the outside, it still looks flawless and undisturbed, but on the inside, it's a mess.
Shall we carry on to the hillock?
That seems wise.
Yeah, just if we pass something of interest, we should check in just to make sure.
Okay, so as you approach, the building appears to be a natural extension of the ground, forming a large, strangely shaped hill. And as you approach, you see that the inside is dark, and the rounded hallways are crafted of granite, like the surrounding buildings.
I can try and illuminate the darkness, see if something reacts.
Do I notice anything from outside?
Perception check?
If you want me to illuminate darkness, I can do that too.
Yeah, I want to check it out.
Apparently, I don't notice anything.
Yeah, you don't see anything as you look into it, but KHR, as you stand near the entryway, you feel just the faintest breeze brush over you from inside the building.
So it's exhaling or inhaling?
Exhaling.
There's air pushing out of it. That's not normal.
No, it's not.
You
But
guys were going to light up the space?
I think we're going to need to investigate.
Snikket will make a little gesture with his staff and will summon 4 torch-sized lights that will hover around him, and he will send dancing lights moving. It's got a range of 120 feet, so he'll just sort of send little globules flying up and down the side of the building, trying to highlight any entrances or anything.
So that there is the entrance that you guys are standing at, and inside the lights travel down a short round hallway into a larger chamber that looks as though it takes up the vast majority of the inside of this building. And you see off to the side, if you go into that chamber, you can see another exit from it.
Snikket will look at the rest of the group and will shrug and ask, "Are we going in or no?"
I guess so.
Okay. You find yourself in a large oval-shaped chamber, and the other exit that you see is a round closed door to the east that heads into the northern part of the building.
I'll try listening at the door.
Okay, perception check. You do hear the soft sound of air flowing out of the room beyond.
I'll relay that quietly to the party.
Hey, I'd like to check around the door, runes, traps, block, anything.
Investigation, please.
It's not my time.
No, it really isn't. You don't find anything suspicious.
All right, I don't see anything. I guess we keep going, everyone.
I guess so.
Then I will carefully open the door.
It is locked.
Of course. I can't really just open it. Anyone have lock picking skills?
No, I don't know how to do
Did
that.
somebody have knock?
I do, and I'll cast knock on it.
Okay, so a loud knock sound happens and the lock opens.
I'll take a moment to listen again. Listen, taking a hint from Snikket.
Okay, perception.
Someone else needs to do this stuff because it shouldn't be me.
All right, I'll just take a listen.
Yeah, you guys aren't even picking up anything at all. So yeah, the door is open or unlocked. Miri steps forward and gives a listen. She doesn't hear anything, but again, you are feeling this sensation of air kind of coming through the cracks of the door.
Well, If we've determined that there is air moving on the other side, Snikket will try to open the door.
Yeah, the door opens, no problem. And again, it's completely soundless as this round door swings out towards you guys, and you see a bunk chamber with another door at the far end, and the bunks appear to have all been ransacked as well.
Snikket will hold up his hand to the party, will summon another cluster of dancing lights, and will form all 4 of the lights together into a vague humanoid goblin shape, and he will send the dancing lights dancing through the chamber down towards the doorway. When they get there, they'll just disappear. Does anything happen as the modicum of, as the goblin simulacrum dances through the room?
No, nothing happens. Are the lights affected by airflow at all?
It says that they appear as torches. Here, I'll quickly put it up there. There doesn't appear to be anything that says it, but
I see dancing lights already up there.
yeah.
I'll say that they can react like torches. You do notice as they move through the room that the lights flicker and dance even more than they typically do, and as they get to the door, they're really wildly moving.
Away from the door, as though there was airflow coming from the door into the room.
That's correct.
I'll shrug at the party and walk into the chamber.
And I guess we'll follow.
Okay. And in here you find, like I mentioned, that second door that leads north.
Can Snikket try poking through the wreckage and see if there was anything that was left behind or missed?
Investigation, please.
I'll help with that too. So would you like me to roll or give him advantage?
You can give him advantage.
Better roll stands at 18.
Okay, yeah, this room was thoroughly picked through, and you don't find anything here.
Snikket is going to kick at a piece of lumber and just mutter, "Is this what so many goblins died for?"
We've only checked one building, and we're not even done. So we'll check that door.
Okay, investigation.
Someone helping me.
I will.
See, I needed that.
Yeah, advantage really helps a lot. You don't find any traps, but this door is also locked.
Locked again.
So it was locked after it had been ransacked. Our first one.
Both doors were locked. So either...
But somebody felt the need to lock a room that had been ransacked.
Yep.
Were they locking up something that they wanted to keep inside?
Don't know. Maybe a quick listen at the door?
Perception? Yeah, you can't help but feel the airflow out of whatever's beyond this door. It's quite a bit stronger.
All right, how do we want to open this?
Is there any smell on the breeze?
No.
Snikket will hold up a hand and say, "Save your magic, fancy elf. I've got this." And flames start to flicker up and down his hand.
And Ysmyr will step out of the way quickly.
Yeah, I step back a couple.
I'll hit it with a firebolt. Do you want a damage roll?
Sure. Oh, so you channel the flames and smack it right in the middle of the door, and it bursts apart.
Effective.
When all you have is fire, the entire world looks flammable.
And stepping forward again, what do we see?
Okay. You see a small oval-shaped chamber, and inside there is a variety of treasures.
Okay. Well, we might have found what we're here for, but don't just grab anything, anyone. Can I check the room for traps or anything? And if anyone wants to help?
I'll help.
Okay, so who is going into the small room with the various treasures?
I'll go in.
I'll go in as well.
Okay. There is room for one more person if one more person wants to go in.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
So,
Okay.
Katira?
That'll leave.
Yes.
That'll leave Miri outside of the room from the rest of the group.
Miri will come in.
No, there isn't room.
Oh, there's no room. Okay. Miri will stay outside.
The rest of the room is filled with chests and various other things.
I would still before touching anything, like to look around and just, it's treasure laying out. I don't trust it. And she'll voice that to everyone as well.
As you shouldn't. Initiative, please.
I do have a find trap spell.
Little late.
Well, you're the ones who left me out of the room.
Oh, you're right there.
Yeah, we've got nobody to blame but ourselves.
Oh, I forgot I could roll it there.
You did better anyway.
That explains a lot.
Okay. So you're all in the room, and it just goes down to the air elemental's turn. All of a sudden, out of a crack in the wall comes flowing this form that camps itself right on top of Ysmyr, Katiara, and Snikket. And it is going to use...
So I am not under it?
No. Those three get to make a strength save, DC 13.
Now I start rolling crap.
Even with -2.
Oh, Katiara. Oh, no. And
Yeah,
Miri.
2 deuces in a row.
Miri is not in the room. There wasn't
Oh.
space.
I know, but that's part of the fun of this ability. On a failure, a target takes 3d8 plus 2 bludgeoning damage and is flung up to 20 feet away from the elemental in a random direction and knocked prone. If a target is thrown into an object, such as a wall or floor, the target takes an additional die 6 damage, bludgeoning damage for every 10 feet it was thrown. If the target is thrown at another creature, that creature must make a dex save, DC 13, or take the same damage and be knocked prone. So, Miri, please make a dex save as Katiara comes flying out of the room at you. Katiara and Miri, you both wind up on the floor, prone, and you each take an additional 1 point of bludgeoning damage from being knocked into each other and onto the ground.
Get off me! Ouch!
If the saving
Okay, I'm
throw-
still waiting for my 3d8.
Oh, that was included in the initial thing that I posted. You take... Oh, I see. It rolled the d6 separately already. Okay, so let me just read the rest of this. If the saving throw is successful, the target takes half the bludgeoning damage and isn't flung away or knocked prone. So, for Ysmyr...
Oh, okay, I see it. I take 20 damage plus the 1.
No, you don't take plus the 1 because it rolled 2 bludgeoning damages. The first one is the 3d8 plus 2, which is 15, and then the second one is if you get thrown, which you did. So you're going to take 20 damage. Miri is going to take 5. You're both knocked prone. Ysmyr and Snikket each take 7 damage.
Ow.
Yeah.
Get off!
Well, he has to wait till his turn.
Yeah, that doesn't mean Miri's not going to yell at him.
Is she hitting him again? Is she flirting with him again?
No, at this point, she's stuck and yelling at him because he landed on her.
So that large creature is actually on top of Ysmyr and Snikket right now. I just can't place him there.
Does he look corporeal?
It looks like a solid mass of air that is also kind of flowing around them. And so now, Snikket, what's your dex modifier?
+2.
Okay, so you tied the element. So I'll say that you can go first.
Okay. Okay. Then Snikket is going to bonus action disengage and run out of the room. He gets the bonus action disengage for being a clever little goblin. And then I'm going to turn back and huck another firebolt at him.
Okay, are you taking your full 30 feet of movement?
Yes, please, getting far away from him.
Okay, I've got you as far as you can get and still seeing him. An 8, however, misses pretty badly.
Probably because I'm running away. That's my turn.
Yep. Next up would be Katiara.
Okay, I rolled 3 on my initiative.
Yep.
Off!
I rolled a 23. Do I get to go?
No, it got to surprise attack on you guys because you couldn't even see it. And then it went on its initiative turn. So
Gotcha. Yep, works.
I rolled a 7. I would be before Katiara, wouldn't I?
no, because the air elemental acted on turn 6. So everybody after turn 6 is getting an action. Everybody else was caught flat-footed.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I roll over and I say, "Don't flatter yourself, dear. stand up, and I cast Cure Wounds on myself first level.
Okay. Nice one.
And that is my turn. I don't think I have a bonus I can take. I could do a healing word, but I've already done a spell, so that doesn't count. Bardic Inspiration. Ding, 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 ding. I can only cast it once, or can I cast throw all 4 if I want to?
I think you can only do one at a time, can't you?
Yeah, that's a bonus action, a creature other than yourself. Okay, and it goes a creature, so yeah, it's singular. I will throw that, and I will give it to, so that's Ysmyr and Snikket in there.
Snikket is no longer in there. He ran out of the
Oh,
room.
that he ran out.
It's me.
Okay, Ysmyr and Yaereene. I'm going to give it to War Leader to start.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So that's a D6.
Yeah, it's a 1d6 that you can use after your first throw, but before Ryan says the outcome.
Hey, are you taking any movement anymore?
Isn't
Well,
standing up his movement?
half my movement. I rolled off. I stood up.
I was going to say you probably won't be able to see.
Yeah. I move back 10 and I move 1. So if the top of the page is the front, it'd be to the left.
Yeah, that puts you right behind Snikket. And now we go back up to the top of the order. Yaereene, you're standing there and you just saw Kate here. I got whipped out of the room and everyone else got blown around a bit. What are you going to do?
I'm going to try and attack it with my short sword. I have no idea if it'll work.
An 11 misses, so no, it doesn't work.
Can I use my offhand?
Also not a hit.
Surprised, I flail wildly.
So that's your action and bonus action. You can move through it if you want. It's right in front of the door to the room, so you could move through it and out into the other room, but that's really the only space that you could go. Right now you're beside it.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Next up is Miri. You are prone on the ground with 5 feet between you and the air elemental.
Well, first of all, I'm standing up, and then I'm going to shoot a sacred flame at it.
Okay. So Dex save DC 14. It makes it.
Blast. I don't see that I can do anything else, so I'm going to take a step backward, where I can still see the thing, but I'm stepping back.
Yes, no problem.
Yeah.
And that is your turn. So next up is Ysmyr. You are standing inside of it right now.
Yeah, so my first question is, if I use Misty Step to get out of there, does that provoke an attack of opportunity?
I don't believe so, no.
Then she is going to Misty Step out of there.
And so that allows you to move to suddenly teleport 30 feet?
Yeah, so somewhere where she can see, but it's gonna be into the larger room, probably behind her to the side of the others, but can still see it.
Yep, I can put you kind of kitty corner behind Miri, and you can still see the door.
Okay.
Mary's gonna jump when you appear behind her.
Okay. But I'm not close enough to use a weapon right now, so I guess that's my turn. I can't use another bonus action.
Or you can use a full action if it's a cantrip.
Oh, then Eldritch Blast.
5 hits and force damage. It is not immune to or resistant to, so hooray!
Good.
The air swirls around as you blast this thing.
And she's just gonna shout as a free action, Yaereene, get out of the room!
And Snikket, you can go next.
Snikket is going to tap himself with his little staff, and then he's going to fall on his hands and knees and give a as he breathes a jet of flame at the beast. So I'm not sure how to make this work properly in the chat, but look at the fire damage because it's fire damage that he's doing.
It's a ranged touch spell, 15 feet. It's not a cone. That's interesting.
No, excuse me. The breath is a cone, but to touch it on him, to cast it on himself is a touch. The casting time is one bonus action, and then as an action, I can create a cone of the damage of my type. So 15-foot cone, hitting it with fire damage.
Okay. So dex save.
Yeah.
It fails, so it takes 5 points of fire damage.
1 second. I'm going to use my sorcery points to re-roll those damage dice. Bear with me just a sec, though. Wow.
Ouch.
That
Regret.
you empowered it worse.
More like depowered.
Well, I mean, I was re-rolling the 1, so it comes out to the same. It's still 5 damage, but I'm also going to tag on Fury of the Small to deal an extra 4 points of damage to this beastie.
The air elemental turns to Yaereene and attacks. I'm guessing a 10 misses,
It does miss.
but it gets 2 attacks.
Oh no!
Odds seem good that hits.
Yep. At least it wasn't a crit. Close, though. So you take 17 bludgeoning damage as this earth elemental just slams into you.
Wait, where did the earth elemental come from?
Did I say earth? I meant air.
Okay, you said earth.
Yeah, I had a moment of, I think he means air.
My bad. It is air. There aren't 2 elementals in here, although that would be really funny. But no.
That was a minor panic!
No, that wouldn't be funny.
Well, it depends on where you're sitting.
From where I'm sitting, that would not be funny!
So the air elemental squeezes through the door and has now taken up position. It hasn't left Yaereene's threat range, but it is beside Snikket and Miri as well. I'll take another picture. And that's it for its turn. So now we move on to Kaitiara.
Oh dear. Okay. Bonus bardic inspiration on Snikket, and good lord, what do I do? Yeah, okay, that's where I am. I am going to cast a dissonant whispers, first level.
Okay. It fails its save. So
Yay!
it takes 15 psychic damage.
And I am going to move basically diagonally towards the entrance twice. So like I'm 15 feet behind. I think that's
Miri?
Miri, yeah, the white cloak.
Sure. Does Dissonant Whispers do anything else other than damage?
Okay. Oh, it's got to bugger off. Hang on, let me throw it up. Must use its reaction to move as far as its speeds allows away from me.
Interesting. Okay, the elemental goes back into the treasure room and then disappears through a crack in the wall, and you can no longer see it.
Do we get to take an attack of opportunity?
Yes, Miri, Snikket, and Yaereene can all take attacks of opportunity.
Might as well use
Okay,
those bardic inspirations if you need to.
What do I whack it with?
Unless you have Warcaster, you can't cast a spell on a reaction, so you'd have to just whack it.
Yeah, the only melee weapon he has is his little arcane focus staff, so no attack from Snikket.
Any damage is damage.
It's not a melee weapon, it's literally like a little old man walking stick. He can't use it to attack.
All right.
Okay, Yaereene, a 13 misses. Miri, you didn't roll an attack. And you miss as well. Okay, so
well.
it just disappears through a crack in the wall. Then we go up to Yaereene's turn. You're in the treasure room and can't see anything to fight.
But Ysmyr told me to get out, so I'm going to move out of the room.
Okay. How far out of the room?
Down the hallway to where Kaitiara and Miri are, approximately.
Miri was right outside of the door.
And Kaitiara's just behind that right now?
Yeah, he's about 15 feet behind Miri.
Okay, I'll move to where Kaitiara is.
Okay. You're kind of kitty corner behind Miri right now. You didn't have quite enough movement to get to Kaitiara.
Sounds great.
Are you going to do anything else?
Can I choose to delay an action of attacking with my longbow should the creature come back?
Yep, you can drop your short swords on the ground and pull out your longbow and prepare an attack.
If I don't drop them, can I stow them properly and draw my longbow?
No.
I'll stow them properly and draw my longbow next turn.
Then we go to Miri.
Miri is going to take a cautious step forward and see if she can see anything in the next room.
You see a few treasure chests on the floor and a quiver and a longbow hanging on the wall, on hooks on the wall.
So, casting find traps.
You don't find any traps.
Alright, then if I don't sense that elemental in there, I'm gonna cautiously enter the room with my weapon still at the ready and sort of explore the area.
Well, you walk into the room and look around, and it's what I just described.
Okay, so nothing else pops out at me.
Nope.
Okay, I think we scared off the monster, and I think it's safe to explore right now.
Is it still windy, Miri?
Is it?
Your passive perception is good enough to still feel wind coming from that crack, yes. And Ysmyr, it's your turn.
Okay, she's going to bonus action Armor of Agathis herself. Just give herself some extra temp hit points.
Okay. Anything else?
And she'll just hold her actual action to be ready. And as a warcaster, can that be her Eldritch Blast?
When you ready an action, you can ready any typical action that you would take, but it has to have a trigger.
She's just ready to blast the arrow elemental if it pops up again.
Okay.
Miri's gonna face the spot where the air is coming out of with her shield held up.
Yep. Next up is Snikket.
Okay, so upon hearing his companions talk about how they can still detect this beast he is going to growl, and on all fours is going to run into the room right up to the wall where it disappeared, and like lurching forward beast-like onto the wall, he's going to put his hands up against it, jam his little mouth like as far into the cracks as however small they might be. He's just going to go for as much distance as he can and release another jet of flame down the hole.
Don't bother rolling because he's well out of range of the breath attack.
Okay. Still maintaining concentration to maintain the spell. I'm standing right next to the wall, growling like a little animal.
Sounds good. And as you're growling like an animal, you feel the wind whip around you, and it comes into the room, and it is going to give a slam to Snikket and a slam to Miri.
Would my reaction go off?
You can't see it from where you are. It's kind of off to the side, out of your line of sight. Snikket, you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. And Miri, I know an 11 misses, so you deflect the blow with your shield. And how much is the con save difficulty to keep a spell going under concentration?
Looking that up right now.
I think it's affected by damage.
When you take... here, I'll post.
Okay, so the DC was 10, so you succeeded with an 11.
Awesome.
Okay, and now we are on Katiara's turn.
All right. So it's back here again.
Yep, it came back. I checked to make sure there wasn't a second saving throw it had to make against fear, but it's just the one movement, and then it can move back.
I'm just going to cantrip it with Vicious Mockery.
Okay, you will have to move first to get line of sight on it, but you can do that.
Okay, I would move so I could see it.
So what's
it didn't show up?
No, I don't see it.
There it is. Luckily, I got the same damage.
Oh, wisdom save was successful. So it takes nothing for that, right?
That's right.
Back up to the top of the order, or was there anything else you wanted to do on your turn, Katiara?
Let's see. So far as Ysmyr and Snikket that have... that's probably going to be the end. I'm going to throw it and give one to... Who's closest to it right now? Yaereene or Miri?
Miri.
Give it to Miri. That's me.
Okay, back up to Yaereene.
And I can draw my bow and fire, right?
You can see it. Miri is in the doorway giving it some cover.
Okay, I will actually instead cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay. Anything else on your turn?
I will draw my bow.
Okay. Next up is Miri. So you're standing face to face with the air elemental again. I'll take another picture just for fun.
Yeah, that might help. Things have changed. Oh, see, I was thinking I was closer to the door.
No, you had been behind Miri for a while because you misty stepped behind her.
Yeah, and then on my last turn I said I cast my armor and moved closer to keep an eye on her.
Oh, sorry, I missed the movement. If you want to take your reaction, then you can do that. It's a hit for another 14 damage.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Sorry about that. Miri, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna take a swing at it.
Sorry, you linked Sacred Flames. I thought
Yeah, that was what I meant.
So it actually rolled super terrible on its deck save, and you got it this time.
Oh, good. So I blast it.
It takes some radiant damage and isn't too happy about that. And is there anything else on your turn?
Can I take a step backwards?
It'll get an attack of opportunity on you if you do.
Then the answer is no. I'm gonna hold up my shield.
Oh, Miri, you do have a bardic inspiration now that I gave you while you were away.
Don't think that's imminently useful.
Well, not this round, but it might next.
Yeah,
Okay.
You've got it. So keep that in mind. Next up is Ysmyr.
Okay, I'm going to Hexblade Curse it, and that's my bonus action, I think. It says action right there, but
In the description, it says bonus action.
yeah, okay. Basically, it gives her a +2 to damage rolls against it, and if she rolls a 19 or 20, gets a crit, and if it dies, she gets some healing.
Sounds good.
And then for her action, she'll just Eldritch Blast it again. Your standard warlock, but Miri's in front of me. I kind of don't want to swing a sword at her.
That's fair.
Thank you.
I bet the Eldritch Blast misses.
Okay. I have to be faster, saying I'll use my inspiration.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I should have given you a chance to do that.
It's fine. I got 2 shots in so far. It's okay.
Okay. Snikket, you're up next.
Snikket is going to give his best roar and is going to try and breathe fire at it.
Okay. Oh,
Nice.
Once again, it rolls very
Sweet.
badly.
And that's some good fire damage, too.
Sure is. And as it is standing on some of the treasure, one of the treasure chests also catches flame.
Well, then, in that case, okay. Dragon's Breath, when I cast it, it is an action to actually expel the flames. Okay, and control flames is also an action, so that's all I can do. That's my turn.
Okay. And next up is its turn. And it's once again going to... Oh, I've got to roll to see when it can whirlwind again. 1 second. Okay. It is going to slam Snikket and Miri again. Snikket, you're taking 13 bludgeoning damage. And Miri, once again, you deflect a blow with your shield.
Very useful shield.
Yeah, no kidding. And so, Snikket, you maintain your concentration on your Dragon Breath spell. And
I do, but I'm looking bloody.
I bet. That thing's been beating you. And last up this turn is Keitiara.
Okay, I'm gonna dance in, put my hand on Snicket's shoulder and say, "You're hitting it bad, keep it up," in Elfish, then in Common.
You can't get into the room with your movement.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, we've got the door blocked by 2 people, so it would take way more than 30 movement to get in there.
In that case, I use Healing Word.
Okay. So
So that's 7 points healed on him. And I'm gonna hold on to my last. I'm not gonna take a chance on throwing a dagger. That's basically it. Okay. When you start the next round, if you want to give me another snapshot, because I'm trying to figure out what I can do.
Well, you do have line of sight on it right now. It has partial cover from people standing in front of it.
Yeah.
So if you still have a full action because healing word is only a bonus action, right?
Yeah, because I didn't use my bardic inspiration, so I don't have to use it as a full action. I'm gonna give it vicious mockery again.
Okay.
Meh, it's something.
No, it isn't. It saves. And so we go back up to the top of the order with Yaereene.
Okay, and it will have cover if I shoot it.
Yes.
I'm going to try that anyhow.
Okay. Cover doesn't matter when you're that good. Is that a magic bow?
It is not at all magical.
And it's not magic ammunition?
Not currently.
Okie dokie.
Does it like it noticed it?
It notices, but the arrow just kind of seems to... It doesn't even really pierce the elemental as much as you would expect it to if it was like a living being, and the arrow just kind of gets tossed off to the side.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
Okay. Then we are on to Miri.
Who is going to sacred flame the thing again?
Okay.
Are you staying in the doorway too?
Does it make a whole lot of sense for me to move?
It saves and takes no damage.
Well,
Can I step
can't.
to the side from the doorway without having to disengage?
You would have to disengage to get away from it at all, because you are in its threat range.
Can I step to the side so that I'm out of the doorway and my other people can get in without disengaging?
Yeah, you can step one step to the north or one step towards Snikket to the east.
I'm going to step towards Snikket.
Next up is Ysmyr.
Okay. She's gonna go in and with her longsword do a booming blade cantrip on it.
Okay. You're just going to stand beside Miri for that?
Her going. Well, I guess here's my question: if she goes in and goes to the left, if she goes in, is she in the threat range, or can she go to the left? Out of
Yeah, you have to step into the threat range to enter the room. So you can either take one step in beside Miri or two steps in and go one step further north beside it.
She'll take 2 steps. And hold on. Oh, and I have to make the melee attack. Sorry. So that's what Booming Blade will do.
If it moves willingly, yes.
Yeah, and don't forget you've got your bardic inspiration still.
Which she will use, but I don't think it's going to help.
That's a D6.
She'll use that and her normal inspiration and her DM inspiration too. Or I have to do that before the attack. Sorry.
Yeah, DM inspiration has to be used first. High's bad.
So it ends up being 14?
14.
Well, you rolled a 1 on your attack, so it was a critical fumble, and I rolled high. So as you take a swing at it, the sword leaves your grip, and the wind of the elemental actually tosses it into the back of the room. So it's 10 feet behind you.
Okay, if you're going to rule it as a critical failure, she wouldn't bother using her bardic inspiration.
Yeah, I know. That's why I mentioned it was critical failure. So there's no point rolling anything extra on that.
Yeah, I missed the dot.
I don't miss red dots. Those are when fun things happen.
No, it's green dots.
Again, depending on where you're sitting. Anything else on your turn, Ysmyr?
For now, no. Unless, hold on. Okay, it has to hit me to get hurt. So no, I'm good.
Okay. Snikket, you're up.
Snikket is going to run for the corner of the room using his disengage action to disengage, and he is going to hit it with another dragon's breath.
Let me share the picture of what's going on right now first before you do that, because if you dragon's breath, you're going to hit Ysmyr and Miri.
But no goblins, right?
True.
I see the priorities.
You're the only goblin in here.
So I don't have to watch my line of fire at all.
If we get out of here, you and Ysmyr are having a talk.
Okay, so that's the situation right now.
Okay, in that case, nuts to moving. Fire on him.
It passes a save, so does he take half damage?
Half damage on a successful throw, so cuts it down to 8.
Excellent. Anything else on your turn?
Nope, that's it.
Its turn. Ysmyr and Miri, it flows into your space. It is whirlwinding again.
Okay, it does take 10 cold damage.
Frick.
But first you have to make strength saves D13.
Okay, this, if I roll low, this will be one I'm going to use my bardic inspiration on.
Okay.
And maybe my other one. I'm going to say, yeah, it'll definitely be both. What's the DM
I'm not
dice?
using anything.
Sorry, I missed that.
What's the DM inspiration?
That one allows you to roll at advantage.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was another dice.
No.
So, should I just roll again then?
Yep.
Much better.
All right, so you both save, and you only take 7 points of bludgeoning damage each.
Ow. Well, at least I didn't get thrown into something else.
I have to read the Armor of Agathis for a second.
Would the whirlwind have potentially affected Snikket, seeing as he was still in melee with it?
Nope, it can only do it to enemies that it is in the same, that it's sharing the space with. So it moved to be on top of Ysmyr and Miri.
Okay, thank you.
It's on our heads. What did you need with Armor of Agathis, Ryan?
I just need to see what triggers it.
Melee attack.
Okay, that wasn't a melee attack.
Okay. I wasn't sure just because it's like right on top of me, so.
Yeah, no, it's more just the force of its being that tries to like push you around. So because it's a saving throw thing and not an attack, it doesn't work for that.
No, that's fine. It gave me some hit points too. That's why I use it.
Yeah, it's a really nice spell. Next up is Kachiara.
And that's Snikket that's in between the wall and Miri, right?
Yes.
So I can't get at him and physically touch him.
No, there's much in the way there.
Okay, now, where is this
Very
crack?
And what does he need?
I'm okay. Focus on offense. Bring it down.
Okay, now where is this hole that it goes into?
That's a good point. How big is that hole?
It's right beside Snikket, and it's very small. It's about an inch wide.
Okay.
You'd have to move closer to see it.
Yeah, you can't see it from where you are.
But if I cast Dissonant Whispers, it's going to move away from me as far as it can.
If it fails a save, yeah.
Okay. Dissonant Whispers at 2nd level.
Okay. So it saves, and so it takes half that damage.
Yep, so it takes 7.
And the air elemental dissipates into nothingness.
Oh, good.
Oh, so I did take it down. Luckily, with everybody else's help.
Yep.
I still think I might want to mend that hole.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, like,
I'm kind of wishing I had decided to mend the hole earlier. Before it could
Lesson
come out
learned.
again.
Well, you thought it had buggered off. I thought it was set up as a guardian, so I was kind of afraid it was going to come back, but I couldn't say anything. But, all right. Now, the question is, can somebody put out the chest that's on fire?
I didn't take that spell.
So I was looking at control flames, and I think the answer is no.
if it's the size of a small campfire, I'll cast Prestidigitation a couple times and put it out.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to get it out. The chest is quite blackened from the flames it ran for a few rounds on it.
Actually, with control flames, I can extinguish 5 feet of flames. So yes, I will help.
Now, the question is there a fist-sized diamond in the room?
That's the important question.
Okay. You guys check out the room. And Ysmyr, you're keeping track of loot, right?
Yes. I got my
Okay.
sheet handy.
Good stuff. You find 800 copper pieces, 6,000 silver pieces, 13.
Oh, one sec.
Sure. Actually, I can.
800. Yeah, because then I can just add it in. But that's pretty good already. Should have had your wink and blink and nod and bodger come in.
These are the things that you find in the chests. The leather-bound book, however, has been destroyed by the flames. All the pages inside it are blackened, so it is worthless. But everything else is okay.
There's a quiver and a longbow.
Yes, they're hanging on a hook on the far wall.
Do they look nice or are they ratty?
They look extremely well made.
There's no diamond, though.
There is no diamond in here, no.
And that's the only bit of loot?
That's the loot.
We lost that book. Darn. Could have been handy.
Let's take the loot we've got out to the goblins who are waiting, and then go see what else we can gather.
You guys mind if I use the bow and quiver?
Nope, that's yours.
No. Go ahead.
No, that's yours.
Ysmyr's eyeing that
Give
belt. It
your
looks
old
pretty.
one to the goblins outside.
If we go find the goblins, we can tell them to come in here and pick up what they can. I'll do the weight on the out of game. I'll do the weight on the stuff and give you a reasonable idea as to what they might get. They'll have a strength score of 10, which means that they can reasonably lift 100 pounds moving slowly. But I'll figure some stuff out and I'll let you know what they might carry and what they won't.
Okay.
Anyone grabbing anything else?
Well, I'm going to grab 2 copper pieces from here to replace the copper pieces I used on Tempus for the spell that would hold him in stasis.
Okay.
Is the blue quartz matching my hair?
You and Ysmyr will be giving each other, like, who's going for it eyes.
Yeah,
They do match your hair.
it sets me off so nicely.
I want a closer look at that amulet.
Okay.
Fine here, Kitiara.
Thank you, Ysmyr. You're a good little war leader.
Excuse me.
War leader.
Better.
You don't like the phrase little?
It's condescending when you put it that way, Kitiara.
No, it's not meant that way. It's meant affectionately, but I will remember.
Thank you.
Little is is a phrase for a child.
Is there anything I should put down about the belt?
No, it's an art object, so it
Okay.
no magical properties to it or anything. It just looks really nice.
It's worth 25 gold pieces. It's a nice belt.
Yeah, that belt is nicer than most people's clothes.
All right.
Okay. So Kitiara has the belt.
Yep. Did anybody take the rabbit fur boots or the amulet?
I'm interested in that amulet.
And I guess I'll take the boots unless Snikket is wanting something.
No, but Snikket does want to make sure of something. You said that Ysmyr has the boots?
Yeah.
The
For now.
boots with the fur?
That's what she asked for.
Yes, the boots with the fur. Is
And
everyone
the
looking
whole room looking at her?
Is the whole room looking at her? I think. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
So, you have successfully dealt with the air elemental and gotten some nice loot.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we find that bloody diamond.
Thank you for not making me cry today. This is a lovely delaying of that and possibility of hope. So really appreciate it.